When corrupt cops get caught, the fallout is fast and fierce. These officers thought they were untouchable until they were fired right on the spot. Just like this cop who thought he could talk his way through a live interview.
Yes, ma'am. I don't need any help at the moment. I don't need any help at the moment, ma'am.
Okay, you cannot be here if you're not here to see anyone for parole.
There's a sign that says for visitors. I'm here to do a FOIL request for some public documents.
Are you recording?
I'm taking some pictures and video.
Okay, you cannot do that.
Why can't I do that? There was a lot of signs up front. None of them said that there was no pictures or videos allowed.
The receptionist wasted no time in passing her judgment, insisting that recording was prohibited. Reyes, however, was not going to give up his constitutional rights so easily.
So I will ask you to leave because we cannot have any filming in here.
So the only reason you're asking me to leave is because I'm recording?
Am I making myself clear?
Ma'am, you are very clear. I can hear you perfectly fine. I just, you're not my parole officer. I don't have a parole officer, and you don't have no authority over me. So I would ask that you de-escalate a little bit and talk to me with some respect, the same way I've been talking to you with respect, ma'am.
I'm talking to you respectfully.
Do I make myself clear? Is that talking to somebody with respect, ma'am?
The receptionist overstepped her bounds, but upon realizing Reyes wasn't backing down, she escalated the situation by calling parole officers.
How you doing?
Hey, how are you?
All right.
So this gentleman is requesting for a FOIA.
What seems to be the problem?
I'm just taking some pictures and video in a publicly accessible area, sir.
Okay.
May I get your name?
Once he crossed that threshold, he's trespassing.
I'm trespassing? How am I trespassing? This is a public lobby. Can I just get your names and badge numbers?
If you're not on parole and you have no business here,
The parole officers were caught off guard by Reyes' assertiveness, as their expressions showed their lack of competence.
what's your business?
I'm an independent journalist. I'm working on a story. This is a publicly accessible area. This is a lobby. I'm working on a story on the New York State Department of Correction and Community Supervision.
Okay. They have a unit that deals with if you want information from DOCCS that they can provide that to you.
Oh, I'm sure they do have a unit that provides information. I just like to go randomly and unexpectedly to public offices and publicly accessible offices and conduct my investigation.
The officers only worsened the situation, with one displaying an undeniable ego as Reyes posed his next question.
Can I get your names and badge numbers?
Presley, 1939.
What would you say, sir?
Presley, 1939.
Preston? And your name?
I'm P.O. Rookwood 9.
You're the one that said I was trespassing. I'd like to know who says I'm trespassing.
I'm not giving you that.
Why would that? Are you a public servant?
I'm not giving you that.
Do you work for the public, sir?
Of course.
So why wouldn't you acknowledge yourself?
Reyes realized that he was up against a group of tyrants, and the situation showed no signs of improving anytime soon.
So I'm not giving
Well, you don't know who anybody is until you meet them,
Exactly. I don't know who you are.
and you just met me.
I don't know who you
So you're not going to provide your name? Are you a supervisor here?
are. No.
None of you are supervisors?
No.
Can I speak to a supervisor?
They went to go get him.
After a wait, the receptionist returned with the supervisor, who proved to be just as rude and uncooperative as the rest of the staff.
Well, the door was wide open. Hey, sir, how are you? Hey, how are you?
I'm good, sir. How are you?
Are you a supervisor here?
Yes, sir.
Hi, nice to meet you. My name is Sean. I'm an independent journalist.
Identification?
I don't have any identification on me, and I wouldn't hand it over if I did.
What's the purpose of your visit?
So I'm an independent journalist. My name is Sean. I'm here to exercise my First Amendment right, just to gather some information. I'm working on a story on the New York State Department of Corrections.
The supervisor insisted on obtaining Reyes' ID, despite lacking any valid reason for such a request. At this juncture, the situation was growing increasingly challenging.
I wasn't aware that I needed to carry ID, sir.
You are in a government building, a law enforcement building. Do you have identification?
I wasn't aware I was obligated to carry identification, sir.
Do you have identification?
No, and if I did, I wouldn't give it to you.
Identification.
No, and if I did, I wouldn't give it to you, sir. I haven't broken any laws.
The supervisor disappeared momentarily, only to reappear with a clear agenda, showing no regard for fairness or reason.
Do you have identification with you?
You asked me that several times already, sir, and I don't. And if I did, I wouldn't give it to you.
You have no legitimate purpose to be here. You need to exit this space. You may stand outside. Otherwise, you will be arrested.
For what?
Okay? Trespass.
This is a public
You
building.
have no legitimate business here. Please leave.
My legitimate business is asking questions of government officials. I'm here to ask
We do not
questions.
speak to the media. I can give you a number that you can call.
Reyes found himself being trespassed from a public building, a clear indication of the corrupt supervisor's lack of understanding of the law. This was just the beginning of the escalating tyranny.
Please.
Okay,
exit
so
the
can you
building.
grab me the
I will
number?
give it to you. Please exit the building.
All right. I'm just going to take some pictures of these
There's
publicly
no-
accessible.
I need you to exit the building.
Sir,
now.
this is a small lobby. I'm just here to
Excuse
grab
me.
some content for
Sir,
my story, and then I'll be on my
excuse
way,
me.
okay?
I need you to leave the building.
And I
Do you
will as
understand?
soon as I'm done
No.
conducting my lawful business, sir.
You have no lawful business here.
I do,
Please,
sir.
No. You have not produced identification as requested by me. I'm the supervisor in this building.
I don't have to provide
need
you identification.
Okay, then you have to leave.
With each passing minute, the supervisor's hostility grew, and his demeanor indicated his intellectual defeat at the hands of the auditor.
Maddie's on the phone with them now.
Yes, Presley, get him on the phone.
There's no need to waste law
Sir,
enforcement's
please
time.
exit the building.
This is a constitutionally protected activity.
You have to leave. This
Are you
is
law
a
enforcement?
Yes.
You're in law enforcement?
Yes. Please exit the building. You have no legitimate.
So you're saying if I don't
purpose.
exit the building, you're going to arrest me?
You will be arrested. Please exit the building.
And your name is?
My name is Officer Koshin.
Koshin?
Koshin,
Officer Koshin.
Please.
All right, officer. Your name, Koshin, will be on the federal civil rights lawsuit,
Please.
okay?
However, Reyes had one final task before he could leave the building, and without hesitation, he pressed forward to request it.
And your name?
You have refused to
And your name?
provide any documentation.
I'm asking one of your officers their
Please
name,
leave.
and they're not providing their
They do
name.
not have to answer you. Please leave.
All right,
If you have
we'll figure out
if you
who he
provide
is.
identification, we'll be more than happy to talk to you. I will
So
send
because
that-
I don't have
will give you
identification,
that
you're not going
Please
to
leave.
talk to me?
Please leave.
Sean Reyes was furious witnessing such treatment, and at that moment, he resolved to give them one final lesson on the law.
This is ridiculous. This is a small lobby. This is a small public lobby. I've already seen everything that I can see. This is ridiculous for you to be
please
acting this way and for your officers to be acting this way,
Please.
especially her. Do I make myself clear over there?
Please.
Because that's not the way you treat members of the public. I don't care if they're on parole or not. Do you understand me?
Sir, you do not
Okay,
have a legitimate
great.
business here.
I'll wait for law enforcement to come and we'll talk to them, okay?
I'm law enforcement as myself, so I'm directing
Then you are in direct violation of your oath that you took to uphold the United States Constitution, sir. Yes, you are. I'll wait for law enforcement to come and I'll speak to them and see what they have to say about this. Because you're violating my constitutional rights right now, sir. That's what you're doing. And your other officers here are being unprofessional, which makes sense because you're their supervisor, right?
As he was almost forced to exit the building, Sean Reyes ended up calling the New Rochelle Police Department for intervention. As he waited outside, a couple of officers arrived on the scene.
How you doing today? You mind if I get your name and badge number, sir?
It's Cruz, 1013.
Cruz 1013. Thank you. Hi, ma'am. And your name and badge number, please? Duncan 1049. Thank you. Thank you. So I guess you were called here just because I'm filming in publicly accessible areas of this facility and around. I'm an independent journalist. My name's Sean. I'm working on a story for the Department of Corrections. Said I would wait out here until you guys came to see what you guys had to say about it. All right? Yeah, sure. No problem. Okay, yeah, no problem. No problem.
The officers went inside the corrections facility, and Reyes once again waited outside for a resolution, hoping the officers would bring some kind of justice.
So we're going to be able to get all the body camera footage. Hey, Sarge, how are you? You mind if I get your name and badge number, Sergeant?
Sure, 34.
34, Murphy? Yes. Thank you, Sarge. I appreciate it. Thank you.
Moments later, the sergeant arrived, and they all disappeared inside to discuss the situation. After a brief time, they emerged, presenting a statement and logic that would leave you puzzled and confused.
Right. So I'm just trying to find out what's your reason. What are you doing to be exact?
Oh, so my name is Sean. I'm an independent journalist. I'm just gathering content in publicly accessible areas for a story I'm working on.
Are you aware that this is a private property?
This isn't private property. This is public property.
As far as I'm concerned, I was told by Mr. Barry Jacobson, the owner of this property. It's a private property, so I'm just trying to find out right now, did he give you permission to video record?
Barry Jacobson?
Yes.
A private individual?
He's the owner of this building.
The officer came out claiming that the building was owned by a private individual and had another concerning thing to say.
This is the section out to the New York State Department of Corrections Community Supervision?
There's two companies inside this building.
Okay.
We have the Department of Corrections and what is
Like a drug rehab?
yes, we were informed that Mr. Barry Jacobson owned the building. We called him. We asked him if he had give anyone any permission to be on this property currently right now to be with a recording. He said no, he didn't give anyone any permission, but he would like to know who's out here.
However, it was evident that the officers were overlooking something crucial, and once again, Reyes proved himself to be well versed in the law.
Technically, if a government agency is leasing the property, it then becomes under the government agency's control for as far as publicly accessible areas. It's a government agency, it's funded by taxpayers. But if someone else owns this property and they don't want me here, that's fine. I don't need permission to be here. There's no restricted area signs, there's no keep out private property signs. So there's no way of me knowing that. So I have every right to be here currently. If the owner of the property doesn't want me here, that's a different story.
Reyes was indeed correct. When a private building is leased to the government, it no longer retains its private status and becomes a public building. Despite this, Reyes decided to call it a day.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate it. Have a great day, okay? Take care. Stay safe out there.
Thank you, appreciate it.
Thanks for not violating my rights today. You wouldn't do that? Great. Thanks, Sarge.
Sean's stance was undeniably correct, as the parole officers showed a lack of respect and blatantly violated his rights. Sean mentioned the possibility of filing a lawsuit against them, although, as of now, there is no evidence of such action being taken. These officers indeed overstepped their bounds, but what this next officer did was utterly disgraceful, bringing shame upon law enforcement.
Once you sign, I'll explain everything to you.
You won't explain it to me before I sign it? That seems a little unfair, don't you think?
In January 2024, YouTuber and exotic car enthusiast Damon Fryer was cruising down the road with his friend in his blue Lamborghini when a police officer pulled him over. Shortly after, the officer approached Damon to initiate a conversation.
Your license, please?
Yeah, sure.
It's not because of your loud exhaust.
Yeah, it's loud, isn't it?
It's a little too loud.
There you go.
Okay, look for the registration and insurance.
Yeah, it's right here.
The officer took Damon's license for a few minutes, but returned empty-handed, then proceeded to demand something else.
Hey, can I use that Huntington Beach address?
Pardon me?
It's not taking the British Columbia.
What's not?
It's not taking this for some reason.
What do you
Use your Huntington Beach address or no?
I don't have a Huntington Beach address.
Okay.
I have my Canadian address.
Okay.
What's the issue?
Yeah, it doesn't not take it. This is all computerized. I should do a paper one.
No, but what's the issue with the car? What's the issue with the car?
The loud exhaust.
Yeah, but it's not from here.
The officer appeared to have prior knowledge of Damon even before the stop, leading to a surprising discovery that would completely alter the perspective of the encounter.
Can I use your Huntington Beach address? So he knows who we are.
Yeah, because right now he has your ID with your Canadian license. Like, there's nothing that says Huntington Beach on it.
No. Officer, I think this officer is, and it is. Remember the guy who yelled at me and told me not to think?
Well, then don't think. That's when people get into trouble, when they start thinking. You understand?
Really?
So, you
Don't
you
think.
never gave me.
That's your advice, don't think.
Okay, yeah, don't think.
Is that him?
That's him.
No.
Yeah, that's him.
Oh, so we're in Costa Mesa right now then?
Yeah, still.
Damon quickly realized that he had a history with this officer, and it became increasingly clear that the stop was nothing more than personal.
And that was pretty funny. He's like, can I use your Huntington Beach address?
Interesting, because that's not on your license. How
And
do
I
you
was
know
like,
that?
well, I don't have a Huntington Beach address. And I don't when it comes to this car. This car is registered to our address in Alberta. Sorry, me?
What color is your hair?
It's brown.
What color are your eyes?
Green.
How tall are you?
6 foot.
And your weight?
My weight? Well, it's the new year, so it's a new me. I'm trying to get down. I think I'm 215.
The officer reverted to issuing a paper ticket since he couldn't retrieve Damon's Canadian address from the iPad. At this point, Damon posed a straightforward question, to which the officer had no answer.
So,
Let me see the registration.
yeah, sure. So what's the issue with the car being a bit louder? It's from Canada, so it's a tourist car. It's not from here. So what would the ticket be for?
Which model is this?
It's a Murcielago.
The officer blatantly ignored Damon's questions, displaying a sense of entitlement that suggested he felt above being questioned. Undeterred, Damon posed another question, this time about their earlier confrontation.
So what was interesting was you said, can you... You said, can you use my Huntington Beach address? I don't understand that.
Is this vehicle registered to you?
It's registered to the corporation in Alberta. So it's an Alberta car. It's got Alberta plates. You saw that, right?
Yeah, they're covered. I don't know what state.
Well, you know now it's got Alberta registration, yeah? Pardon me?
This is part of the company?
Yes.
The officer showed no inclination to answer Damon's questions and even refused to provide a reason for issuing the ticket.
So what's the issue though? Like an out of state car driving here is just like a noise violation? What's the ticket for?
014 November.
What's the ticket for?
I'll show you when I get done with this.
Oh, okay.
Without admitting guilt, I need you to sign here.
Yeah, so what's the ticket for?
Once you sign, I'll explain everything to you.
You won't explain it to me before I sign it? That seems a little unfair, don't you think?
A loud muffler.
Pardon me?
Loud muffler.
What? So, I don't understand though, I want to know the law. So, how is it that the law is...
Please sign here, because you're kind of...
Damon grew increasingly frustrated with the officer's lack of response, but the officer remained indifferent and unapologetic, persisting with the same dismissive attitude.
So, what's the ticket for? What's it? No, I understand that. So, is it a fine or do I...
I'm warning you on the speed. So.
Sorry, you're warning me on the what?
Please sign.
Yes, I'll sign it, but I need you to explain to me what the...
Recorded right now, okay, you're kind of delaying, like you just going to sign.
No, I understand, but you're asking me to sign something I don't understand.
Another officer had to come over to the scene, and both of them talked to him demanding an explanation for the stop.
Can you explain the ticket to me?
He's asking me to sign, but not saying what the ticket's for. He's asking questions, but he's not explaining it.
I just got here, so I have no idea why he pulled you over. I literally just driving down the street and saw he's out here, so I just...
Appreciate that. Maybe go talk to him, because now he's walked away.
I just want to know what I'm signing. He won't explain it to me.
Meanwhile, the primary officer returned, but despite Damon's persistent inquiries about the reason for the arrest, it appeared that the officer had no interest in communicating.
I just want to know what the ticket's for. You're saying loud exhaust, but I want to know, like, okay, so is it a fine? I don't understand.
The court handles that.
No, I understand the court handles that, but I need to understand, if you're pulling me over, why have I done anything wrong if I'm from another country? Like, my car is legally allowed to be here. When I come here, I'm not told it can't be a certain loudness, it can't be a certain thing. So you're saying something's wrong with my car, I did something wrong, and I'm asking you, okay, can you turn the radio down a little?
So I can hear. I have a helmet on, I can't hear.
It's hard to have a conversation with you if you want to give me a ticket for something.
The situation grew increasingly tense as the officer stubbornly refused to provide any reasoning, adding to the frustration. Damon remained unsure of what he had done wrong.
Are Canadian cars not allowed to come here? Really? Like, you're not going to answer any of my questions? So I'm reading right here, code, loud muffler, speed visual estimation. So what's the speed visual estimation?
You're speeding.
What, pardon me? Well, you just said that you're writing me a ticket for a loud exhaust, but now you're saying there's a speed thing on here. So you're trying to sneak something else on here and you're trying to get me to sign something.
Seeing the confrontation reach a dead end, Damon decided to take the most sensible course of action available at the time.
Where do we draw the line on this one?
I don't know what you call him for.
Speeding and loud exhaust.
But you just said just loud exhaust.
I mean, he's delaying my duties right now. You have until the 25th of March to take care of this.
The officer was later identified as Officer Torres, and his demeanor throughout the altercation was entirely unprofessional. That's why Damon decided to head over to the Costa Mesa Police Department to file a complaint.
I just had a traffic situation with Officer Torres.
Okay.
Officer Torres and I have had history.
Okay.
He pulled me over today, explained that he pulled me over for loud muffler.
The officer showed much more empathy and patiently listened as Damon explained the bizarre treatment he received from Officer Torres.
He knew the car, knew who I was before he even pulled me over. Because there's no information on my driver's license or on my car that would suggest that I have a Huntington Beach address down here. Okay. So right away, he's basically telling me indirectly, I know who you are, I know your car's down here at this location.
You at some point.
Very, very good assumption, right? Okay. So he's essentially targeting me on some level. And then on top of all that, he wrote on the ticket when he was trying to get me to sign it that I was speeding, a visual estimate, which he wouldn't verbally tell me what the ticket was all for. I could see there was a whole bunch of stuff on it. He was holding it up higher, so I couldn't really see. Like, he wasn't holding it like this, he was holding it like this. Kept trying to get me to sign it.
Damon found himself backed into a corner as he explained how Officer Torres had an entirely different motive behind issuing the ticket.
He's targeting me, so I don't know if it falls into the harassment category because I haven't seen him in years, but he knows who I am. Like, he personally targeted my vehicle today.
Thank you.
What's your name? So prior to stopping you, I guess what I'm trying to understand is what you're alleging is that prior to stopping you, he knew that it was you behind the wheel of the car?
Yep.
Moving on, we have this ignorant police chief who was so drunk that he ended up ruining his 32-year legacy.
What is it? The RMA?
I am not the police, okay? I came here with the ambulance. I want to make sure you're okay.
I don't know what he's thinking.
I don't know. I'm asking you if he's RMA or not.
Oh, yeah, no.
What?
Yeah.
I get that. I'm not saying you aren't. I just want to make sure your head is okay. You have no other injuries that we need to be aware of.
Chief Leonard Guida, who had arrived uninvited, pulled over one of the sergeants working over the case and initiated a bizarre argument.
I can't get any.
Can you tell me your first name at least?
Why do you get a jacket on that's not fit to be worn? What's on the back of it?
What do you mean?
Look, gonna tell me what's on the back of it.
It's washed off.
Yeah, then get rid of it.
Okay.
That's ridiculous.
Okay.
You're a sergeant, for God's sake.
Okay, Chief. Let me work this DWI, okay?
The chief embarrassed the poor sergeant in front of all the cops just on a matter of his jacket. However, the chief had no idea who he was up against, as he was about to learn it the hard way.
Chief, I'm on a DWI.
Over here.
Chief, I'm on a DWI.
Get over here.
I'm on a DWI. Chief, I'm working. I don't have time to argue about a jacket, okay? Don't you touch me. Don't you touch me. Don't you touch me. You have a problem? Grab me. Now get out of here before you get a problem.
Seeing the heated situation, a couple of officers also joined in as they tried to hold down the ignorant chief. The sergeant, however, was still not done with it, as he made sure to let his feelings known.
No, you're gonna go in. Drunk again. Whose keys are these?
They're mine.
Get out of here.
No.
Chief, get out of here or you're gonna get locked up.
No.
Chief, you're gonna get locked up. You're grabbing me. I asked you 3 times to leave me alone. You're obstructing my DWI.
Billy, come over here.
Let him go.
Chief Leonard was still persistent in making matters worse for the sergeant as he pulled him over once again. This time, the conversation was even more hilarious.
I know.
We do.
All right, you're going to have to go inside.
No, how about we do this?
No.
How about we go inside?
Billy, you're going to have to go inside right now with me. You're going to have to go inside and
We're in a serious collision.
Billy, you're not doing anything when I'm on the scene, okay? You should know better than this, my friend.
No.
Listen to me.
Grab me.
No, I said come over here.
You're out of line. You grab me. It's on video.
Billy.
It's on video. I'm not going to argue with it. I have a crash to work.
Billy.
I have a job to do.
You're relieved. Billy, you're relieved.
Okay.
You're relieved.
Go home.
No. Billy, you have to understand something. You're relieved. Billy, you're relieved. Go home in the headquarters and wait for me.
The chief had no regard for the sergeant and the case he was dealing with as he kept on issuing confusing and unlawful commands. Sergeant William kept on explaining that he had a crash to work on and remained clear of his duties. However, the chief had too much to drink that night and shamelessly ridiculed the law as he passed on his judgment in the middle of the case.
Yeah, so my crash.
No, Billy, you're relieved.
I have
Billy.
officers here.
Billy.
Right here. They could get waffle because my car is blocking it.
Billy, you're relieved.
No, Chief.
No, Billy. Please, Billy. Don't. You're suspended, Billy.
I'm suspended?
Yes.
Okay. I'm suspended. I'm going home.
Yes. Billy, come here.
I'm going home. We can't talk. I'm suspended.
No.
I'm suspended.
You're
going
to headquarters
home.
and you're going to wait for me there.
No, I'm not. I'm suspended. I'm going home.
You're going to headquarters. You're going to wait for me there.
Let me work my crash. This is why I'm here.
Billy, you're suspended.
All right, if I'm suspended, then I'm not going to wait inside. Nothing more than that.
No, Billy. You have to. Billy, you're suspended.
The sergeant was visibly infuriated by this treatment, but remained committed to fulfilling his duties as he prepared to depart the scene.
Wait for me in there. That's an order.
Can you do me a favor? Can you put your car where my car is so our officers and first aid don't get run over, please?
I got you.
Thank you.
Billy's suspended.
The corrupt chief then got towards another police officer, attempting to justify his actions, trying to make amends for what he had done.
See what happened there?
Yes, Chief.
What happened?
There was some type of exchange between you and Sergeant Major.
Well, we're going to talk about that later. Everybody's got that. Billy's suspended. You already got this. What do you got here? What do you have?
We're trying to figure that out, Chief.
However, the chief was still not done with Sergeant William as he approached him for one last time. This time, the conversation took a more personal turn.
Come on, Billy.
I'm in there.
Yes, you're going to meet me in there. Go into the door of the room right now.
There's nowhere to put her. She's going to ruin things.
Okay, we'll leave her in there, please. Go in.
I'm going. I got people on the road. I want to make sure they're safe. I don't want to run you over, so watch out.
No. Come on. Go ahead. You know I love you. Come on.
I know. What? What's wrong with you?
Billy.
Why would you do that to me?
Stop. Billy. Stop.
The chief said that he loved him, and the conversation between them indicated a personal connection between them. However, this raises an alarming question. Why would he treat someone he knows both personally and professionally in such a manner?
You got enough problems already. Please.
Okay.
Following the incident, the Monmouth County Prosecutor's Office took notice and initiated an investigation. Chief Leonard Guida was immediately placed on administrative leave. However, he continued to draw his pay, which was reported to be $202,500 annually. A few days later, Chief Guida announced his retirement, which occurred 6 months earlier than previously announced. On the other hand, Sergeant William Major was allowed to resume his job without any suspension or problem. The chief certainly got what he deserved, but this next officer was immediately punished at his job. The person you just saw was an Albuquerque police officer, Jeffrey Wharton. Wharton did a horrific thing as he beat his girlfriend so badly that she got several gashes on her head and face. She was injured so badly that she had to be taken to a hospital where it was discovered that she also had a brain bleed. However, the next morning, Wharton shamelessly came back to work at the Rio Rancho Police Department. However, he had no idea that the officers were already waiting for him with a felony arrest warrant.
Stand by. Stand by. Stand by. Gas a little bit. You'll be removing your guns off. Okay.
Just the two?
Yes, no. Let's take hold. I'll see. Do you have any other weapons on you? No, that's it. No backpack.
Wharton came in fully prepared in full uniform. However, he had no idea that everything was about to be taken off. The most fitting response was that it was a female officer who proceeded with this.
We have a warrant for you. Giving you either orders or anything?
No.
before you guys take him out of here. Ken, there's no one. Okay. Mr. Ward? Yep. Shirts? Come off. Okay.
The officers made sure to take off his belt and his radios. However, he still had the police shirt on, and they used another humiliating tactic to take that off.
You know what? If you want to get off, then you have him go. Okay. Go ahead and have Hartman stick there with that. Go ahead and move your head over.
Here, come right here.
Attention. There we go. Take that. And then
The officers then proceeded to search Wharton as he stood there helplessly.
What's on the site? Is this to your department unit?
Yep.
Is this to your backup to your unit? And this?
It's in my unit, yeah. I have my Mustang keys in my unit, actually, in my personal vehicle. Your personal vehicle? But both of those keys are to personal house.
Personal house stuff? And this is?
The domestic violence incident was even reported in the Ring doorbell system, and it was disturbing to watch. Moments later, another officer appeared in front of Wharton, who explained to him the charges he was going to prison for.
Hi Jeffrey, I'm Detective Hatch. I'm with your police department. I'm just going to give you a little bit of an explanation as to why we're here. Okay, so right now we do have a warrant for your arrest. It's for aggravated battery and suppressing member. 2 counts of that, kidnapping and interference with communication. Okay, so those are the charges that are pending right now. I do want to give you the opportunity to talk to us and tell us your side of the story. Do you want to take that opportunity?
Not after hearing that.
Okay. All right, then we'll get you down to SUED.
Shortly after, the disgraced officer was taken to the police cruiser when he was taken to the Sandoval County Detention Center. Officer Wharton sat in the detention center with his head in his hands, looking absolutely dejected. However, safe to say that he deserved every punishment headed his way. He was eventually booked into the prison on charges of kidnapping, aggravated battery of a household member, tampering with evidence, and a few other ones. Shortly after this arrest, Wharton resigned from the Albuquerque Police Department. During the trial, Wharton pleaded guilty to aggravated battery, and he was eventually sentenced to 3 years of probation. At this point, Wharton had served 6 months in jail, and he was then eventually released. It's reassuring to see officers getting held accountable for their actions. And that's what happened to this young police officer.
What you doing to drink? I had a beer. Just one? All night? Yes, sir.
Around 1:30 on December 3rd, 2023, a New Mexico State police officer pulled over a driver who was going 90 miles per hour in a 65 miles per hour zone. The officer then moved over to start his investigation.
How's it going? Not too bad. Officer Lujan, New Mexico State Police. You understand the reason I'm stopping you? Way too fast. What's up with the speed? Got you. Driver's license? Just your driver's license. Cool. Step on another vehicle for me, please. Any weapons? Cool. Step on out.
As the officer requested the driver's identification, he handed over his military ID to him. It was later discovered that the driver was another New Mexico State Police officer, Edgar Madrid, who had recently joined the force.
It's about 85, sir.
90? 65, what's the rush?
Just trying to get us off.
Okay. Why are you walking away from me?
Oh, no reason, sir.
Okay. How much have you had to drink?
I had a beer.
Just one? All night?
Yes, sir.
You lying to me?
No, sir.
Cool. Hands are good side. Step forward. Any head injuries?
Yes, sir.
Any contacts?
No, sir.
Okay, put your feet
Well,
down.
I have my contacts, actually.
Soft or hard?
Soft.
Go take a step forward for me, please.
The officer straight away noticed Madrid's watery eyes, and he even smelled of alcohol. Therefore, he waited no more before conducting a series of field sobriety tests, starting off with this one. Madrid didn't seem to follow the officer's finger accurately, suggesting that he may be well over the limit. Therefore, the officer quickly asked him to do the second walk and turn test.
Edgar, hands out of your pocket for me, please. I'm gonna have you put your left foot on that imaginary line. Take your right foot, place it directly in front of your left foot, touching heel to toe. Stop right there. Hands directly at your side. I will need you to remain in that position there, so I'm going to give you all the instructions. You will not start the test until I tell you to do so. Do you understand?
Yes, sir. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9.
Okay. Face me. Put your feet together just like mine. Mr. Madrid, I'm going to have you remain in that position there. You will not start the test until I tell you to do so. Do you understand?
Yes.
And Madrid seemed to have done pretty well in the walk test. However, the investigating officer was still not pretty sure about this, and he proceeded with another one.
I tell you to stop. Any questions? No questions at all? Go and begin, sir.
2001, 2002, 2003, 2004, 2005, 2006, 2007, 2008, 2009, 2010, 2011, 2012, 2013, 2014, 2015, 2016, 2017, 2019, 2020, 2021, 2022, 2023, 2027.
Go and stop.
The officer went over to Madrid for one last time, urging him to tell the truth about how much he had to drink. Surprisingly, this time, Madrid had a different answer.
Mr. Madrid, it's been more than one drink, wasn't it?
Sir.
How much have you really had to drink?
Had 2 Coors Light and Dirty Bourbon, sir.
2 dirty 2?
Yeah.
You shouldn't be driving. You know that.
Yes, sir.
Right?
Yes, sir.
And this is gonna hurt. It really is. But you know all the fields, right?
Yes, sir.
It's sad. It really is. Turn around. Put your hands behind your back. Leave them there. Madrid. 1:40 a.m. You are being arrested for DWI.
Officer felt a sense of disappointment, but he knew that he had to make the arrest, especially since Madrid himself admitted to having drunk way over the limit. Therefore, the officer proceeded to search him.
Go spread your feet. You're under arrest for driving under the influence of intoxicating liquor and or drugs. The New Mexico Implied Consent Act requires you to submit to a breath test to determine the alcohol content of your blood.
The officer then asked Madrid for a breath test to further confirm the DUI suspicion. However, the officer's response to this request was rather unusual.
Do you agree to take our test? Yes or no?
No, sir.
I will continue. I cannot force you to take our test, but if you refuse, You will lose your New Mexico driver's license or non-resident operating privilege for 1 year. If you are convicted in court of driving while under the influence, you may also receive a greater sentence because you refuse to be tested. Do you understand? Do you now agree to be tested? We'll consider your actions and refuse to be tested this time. Mr. Magetta, open your mouth for me, please. Stick your tongue out. Lift it up to the sky. You have anything in your mouth you eat, drink, smoke?
The officer finally proceeded to arrest him and make him sit in the back of the police cruiser before taking him to the police station.
See? Watch out. Just make note at 0140 hours, so the driver 1015, 10.7.
This officer was fired, but you'll be shocked to find out what happened with this next guy.
Now, what's your name? What's going on?
I don't know. They called you. I ain't called you. I'm calling.
Who are we calling about?
Calling about me, buddy.
Calling about you?
Not calling about me. Open your ears and your mouth.
Hey, how about you watch your mouth for your ass gets thrown in the back of my car?
You gonna put me in the car, but I'm in front of my house and my property not bothering you.
The caller had informed the police that the person issuing threats was named Polo and was wearing green and black pants. It could be clearly seen that this person was not dressed as that, but Officer Cody had some other plans.
You go here talking about who am I, Polo? And I told you no.
Hey, listen.
I gotta listen to you, man. Go on.
No, get your over here. You're now part of this. Come here. Come here, right now. Come here.
You can't go for what?
I'll shoot your fucking dog.
Shoot my dog, boy. You can't come in my yard.
Get over here now.
The situation escalated in mere seconds as the officer took no time in brandishing his taser. What happened next was extremely disturbing, to say the least.
Over here, right. Taser deployed. Start me at 20. Hey, show me your hands! Clear the air. Start me some cars.
The individual in question was not Polo, but a person named Nate Carter. Officer Cody did no investigation before deploying the stun gun, and he was still not done.
Get your ass out here. Show me your fucking hands. Get your ass out here. Show me your fucking hands. Get your ass out here now. Get your ass over here now, or I'm gonna shoot your fucking dog. Get your ass over here now. Put your ass up. Put your ass up. Get your ass over here now. Get over here now. Walk me with your hands up. Do it fucking now. Do it now. Get your fucking ass over here now.
It seemed as if the officer had lost it, as he even threatened to shoot his dog if he didn't come outside. Moments later, more officers arrived on the scene, urging Carter to disclose himself.
Hey, sweetie, come here. Come here. It's okay. Y'all come here. Hey, y'all come here. Everything's okay. You stay right there. Hey, you come over there. You go over there. Come here. Come here now. Come here now. Get away from the dog.
No, she bites. That's okay. I'm glad you ate this. No, right?
Carter finally decided to come out of the house, however. He had no idea what was about to happen to him in the next few minutes.
I'm taking my mail off. Man, what you sleeping on the ground for? This is necessary. Man, for real. For real. You not take my mail. For real. Man, for real. Man, jeez.
Get cuffs. I got him. I got him. Get cuffs. I got him.
For real. For real. For real. I ain't even resisting y'all. For real. For real. I'm on. For real. So when you get your hand in my head. For real. They cuff me, dude. I'm not even doing this. For real. No, for real. So you ready to hand it down. For real. For real. For real.
Several officers joined in, yet no one showed any compassion towards the poor Carter. Eventually, he was taken towards the police cruiser as he kept pleading his innocence.
For real. For real. Are you serious? I checked my mail. For real. Don't get my kids on here. I didn't check my mail. Hey. Ow.
not doing that. Can I check my mail? Man, time for somebody else. Man, for real. For real.
Get in the car.
Yes. I'm tight. I've got the handcuffs too tight.
Who cares? Get in the car.
Who cares?
Get in the car.
Man, for real.
As the situation eased a bit, the officers finally approached the person who had initially called the cops, and he was about to reveal the mistake they had made.
All right. You called, correct?
Yeah.
Was this about him, correct?
No. It was another guy, but he ran through. He had the Glock. He was standing by that telephone pole, and he was talking about shooting up. Me and her was in there playing cards, and he was talking about he was talking about shooting up in her.
Because when I walked up, you said, yes, that's him.
No, I said
yes,
no.
you did. Because I walked up and I said, who are you here about? And he said, yeah, that's why I'm here. And so when I started confronting him about going in the house, that's when all this erupted. I asked you, and I said,
I misunderstood what you said.
Officer Cody realized the grave mistake he had made, but even now he had no intentions of accepting his mistake. In some minutes, he went over to explain the entire situation to his sergeants.
He called you, not me. Now go deal with him. And I was like, I said something to him. I asked him, like, what is your name? He made some comment. I said, what? And he said, how about you open up your ears and shut your mouth? And I was like, how about, I said, excuse me. And then so I asked him for his ID, and he was like, man, what you talking about, leave me alone. Well, in my mind, that's the guy who has the gun. And he had his body turned like this the whole time, but wouldn't move at all. He wouldn't move.
Officer Cody shamelessly changed the entire story as he held no regard for his badge. Luckily, the body cam footage was there to reveal what had actually happened.
I gave me your ID, and he's like, no, I'm going back in my mouth, or going back in my house. And I said, come here right now. And he said, for what? I said, give me your ID. I said, I'm trying to figure out what's going on. But the whole time he's going like this, and then he got a step towards me and started walking back in the house. So I'm thinking he's going to go do something with the gun. So I tased him right in the back. And then that's when he rode it for a solid 3 seconds, and then tripped up the stairs. And that's when he slammed the door, and that's when the barbs, I guess the second barb came out.
Several officers joined in as the sergeant was planning to clear themselves from this case. The biggest surprise was that no one showed any empathy towards Carter.
It's fine, but make sure exactly how you described it to me, it needs to be written down.
Yeah, he bladed himself in the doorway to keep one hand hidden.
Yep.
Was the disorder with a weapon and a gun?
Yeah, the guy said he has a Glock, and I pull up, and he was an asshole to me. And the first thing I said, is this why I'm here? No. I said, the first thing he said to me, I said, is this him? And he was like, yeah, that's why we're here, or that's why you're here. And that's when he was like, open your ears, shut your mouth, and go over there.
Instead of letting him go after discovering he wasn't the guy they were looking for, the corrupt officers were determined to fabricate any charge they could find in the book.
And if Vanez couldn't help me make up anything else. But that's what I have right now, is disorderly resisting. I didn't figure out, do you have any of this information? Could you pull that up?
I have it.
Carbon will?
Because he did the report.
Officer Cody took Carter to the police station where he was charged with disorderly conduct and resisting arrest and was later booked into the county jail.
I think I have a sticker one in the trunk if you want it. I can write my badge number on it. You said you wanted a badge. I told you I'd get you one.
I think you were the one that said that it was expired to the Rico show. Yeah, I think it was. This is better than the Rico show, man.
I was breaking federal law.
Soon after this incident, Carter was released from jail and the charges against him were dropped. He filed a complaint, and following an internal affairs investigation, Officer Cody Thomas was suspended for 2 weeks, and after that, he was placed back on the job. However, Carter didn't stop there, as he filed a lawsuit against Officer Cody and the police department, as he is seeking $1 million in compensatory damages and $2 million in punitive damages. But this wasn't the last time an officer's corrupt actions were caught on camera, as this time it was a corrections officer under the fire.
You're under arrest. Why? Because you were in possession of methamphetamine.
In November 2019, in a Santa Fe detention center, an officer discovered a pouch of narcotics dropped in the parking lot. Upon viewing the CCTV footage, the officers discovered something outrageous.
In that car, the officer also carpooled with our lieutenant, Cohen Mangin.
The same one that was also part of
the same one,
the search? Okay.
So As the officer's walking back after he splits, he's walking right here and he sees a package on the ground, picks it up, and where's it at? Ends up turning out to be methamphetamines. We go back, test it, test positive. They go back, start reviewing the tape, and the tape you'll see here, but the lieutenant gets out of the car when he's walking right here. He pulls out his pocket and drops it on the ground.
According to the footage, Lieutenant Cohen Mangan, who was a corrections officer, was the one who dropped the bag of methamphetamine.
Now you'll watch right about right here, you're gonna see. You'll see that. More forward. Right here. Oh. Just it.
Okay. What's his name?
Cohen Mangan. C-O-H-E-N. And then Mangan is M-A-N-G-I-N.
The next morning, a few officers were called over to investigate Mr. Mangan at the same correction center.
Had found a package in the parking lot.
A package?
Yeah, just a small little baggie. So, as you know, protocol is whenever they find potential narcotics. Yeah, and they'll review surveillance video and all that to see where it came from, to see if it was from, and clearly in the video, you're seen. And in that same video, there's a package. When you reach into your pocket, you pull out and you drop something on the ground.
I did?
You did.
What?
Initially, Mangan denied any knowledge about the package, and that's when the officers tried to talk to him, so he confessed to the crime he had committed.
I mean, everybody has their outs. I mean, is it something you want to talk about? Like, I know you said you're working, this is what, your 12th day in a row?
Yeah, it is, man, but I have no idea what that is, and I dropped it on the ground. I have money and stuff in here that is similar to that. I drop it on the ground. Can I see the footage? Am I allowed to? You know what, Cohen? Yeah. And we have good relationships with the DA's office. We have good relationships with, the judicial process. Your best bet right now is to be completely honest. Okay? Honesty, believe it or not, it's instilled to us when we're kids. It does go a long way.
Mangan refused to talk and asked that he needs his lawyer. That was when the officers decided it was time to arrest him. However, that's when Mangan's emotions started to let loose.
Turn around for me.
Oh no, come on, man. Why?
We have to.
No, why? Why do you have to do this, Salgado? Come on, man. I'll tell you what everyone knows. No, I'm trying to talk. Let me talk about this, man. We're past that point. Oh, please, I will talk to you, man. Just don't do this, man. I'll talk to you. I was not You're under arrest. Why? Because you were in possession of methamphetamine. No, come on, man. I didn't bring it into this.
Mangan was not only a police officer, but also featured in the reality show Behind Bars rookie year. Whatever the reason, felt too entitled to be arrested for his wrongdoing, as he kept pleading to the officers.
You were in possession of it. LT, give me a chance, man. You know what? I'll talk to you. I promise, man. You already told us you don't want to talk to me. No, I meant because I need to calm down. Now we're telling you you're under arrest, and now you're wanting to change your story. No, I'll talk to you and tell you anything you want to know. Legally, if you're telling us you don't want to talk, and now you're I didn't say I didn't want to talk. I said I don't want anything else to say right now. Okay. If you have something else to say, that's fine, but understand, you're being arrested, regardless. Are you serious? Yes. Man. So we can talk, but I'm not gonna lie to you and say you're not being arrested. You're going to jail tonight.
The entitlement was skyrocketing at this point, as Mangan thought it was completely okay to be smoking meth inside a correction facility. Luckily, the officers did not fall for his erratic behavior.
Possession of a controlled substance. Right now, man? How? I didn't. Like I told you, it's clear. Man. Clear as day on video. Can I talk to you before I go in there, man? Please. Yeah, sit down.
We'll talk to us.
Realizing that he had no other option, Mangan opted to sit and talk once again, and this time the officers got straight to the tough questions.
Were you bringing this into the facility? I swear to God, sir, I was not on my children. For the inmates? No, sir. No, sir. If you were to submit to a drug test right now, would you have methamphetamine in your system? Yes, sir. You would? Yes, sir.
When did you last use?
2 days ago.
2 days ago.
To disregard it in the
in the parking lot like that?
I didn't even know I dropped it, man.
You didn't?
No, I did not, sir.
You didn't see like the STIU Explorer out there and freak out?
I don't know, because they've been staying out there. I don't know. I didn't freak out. I honestly...
Finally, he accepted his mistake, agreeing that he had been using the narcotic for quite some time. However, the officer still had a lot to ask.
I would never bring shit into a facility, man. Never. That's against everything that I put down on my children's life. I'll take a polygraph, anything you want, man. I would never do that. I've been in this game too long, man. My dad was FBI, he was a captain across the street. Went to Rio Rancho PD. My uncle, my brother, everybody's in law enforcement, man. I have a hard time. I'm a single father with 3 kids and 2 baby mamas. I don't have problems financially, nothing like that at all. I don't. I have a beautiful home, everything. I work a lot of overtime, man. We only have 3 lieutenants. Now they only have 2. You know what I mean? And
Mangan claimed that he used the narcotic to stay up during long shifts. After a few more questions, emotion started to roll out.
Laws we have to enforce and policies we have to follow.
It's not enough.
Trust me, we're not getting any pleasure out of this whatsoever.
Tell me, man.
This
Don't let
is,
my staff see me.
if anything, uncomfortable for us.
I wouldn't do that. Why would I drop something right there, man?
Unfortunately, it's still a felony crime just to be in possession of it.
Yeah, but I don't get it, man. I'm telling you, man.
Unfortunately, our hands.
Mangan kept crying for a few minutes before he stopped, and one of the officers started to explain the charges against him and the gravity of the situation he found himself in.
Felonies are handled through the district attorney's office. I know, man. I know. It's yeah. Any measurable amount. Anything like that it's all the same. You know, if it were marijuana or something, it's a misdemeanor. But the harder drugs are felonies.
Finally, the officers decided to put an end to the proceedings as they continued with the arrests. This time, even Mangan didn't resist.
Pretty good dude. I want to put 2 cuffs on, okay, man? No, we're good.
Sorry, I forgot to tell you.
Thanks for that one. Is this yours too? Just gonna carry all this up here.
Mangan was then booked into the jail, but that wasn't the end of the day for the investigation officer, as he also went over to listen to the officer who had found the little bag in the parking lot.
Plastic baggie that had a crystal-like substance in it.
Where was this at?
It was in the parking lot.
Where at in the parking lot?
It was,
If you, like, where was it near, I guess you could say? Because it's kind of a big parking lot.
It was near the facility, the entrance to the facility is near there, and it was near, it was...
Like booking or like the front, like the admin?
The admin area.
So were you guys going through? The employees go through?
Yeah, we were going to the employees section.
Okay.
In the end, Lieutenant Cohen Mangan was arrested and jailed in the same correction center for bringing contraband into a jail and possession of a controlled substance. However, just 1 week after the arrest, Cohen was released from prison, and later, in January 2020, both charges against him were dismissed without prejudice. Do you think his father being in the FBI had something to do with this?
I would rather not.
In August 2022, John Doe went into the Harris County Sheriff's Office to retrieve some public records that included some body cam footage of the traffic stop he was involved in. The deputy gave him a waiting time of 10 working days, but John received nothing. After 3 weeks, he returned to the Sheriff's Office hoping to find a solution.
Yes, sir. No. Either the records or a written response as to my request as to why I cannot get the records. Texas statute says that you have 10 working days to either give me the records or give me a written response why you cannot give me the records.
The deputy asked John to wait as he contacted someone from the department. After 10 minutes of waiting, the head of the legal department and another legal expert appeared on the scene.
We were waiting for public records.
Who?
Public records?
Yes, I'm the legal director. Can you stop recording?
Are you the custodian of the records?
I am the legal director of the legal department. Can you
Okay.
stop recording, please?
I can, yes, but I will not. How can I help you?
Well, we're asking how can we help you?
Oh, I'm trying to retrieve some public records that I requested 3 weeks ago, but I've received no response on it within the 10 days that the law gives you. Either the records or a written response as to why you cannot give me the records.
As John laid down his request, the head of legal seemed to have an answer for him. However, it appeared that she also seemed to be quite afraid of being filmed.
So it's not 10 days. Can you start?
It's 10 working days. That's why I waited 3 weeks to come here, 15 working days. Yes, ma'am. I would rather not. I'm documenting my interactions with the government. These two different requests. If you're a head of the legal department, you understand I have every right to record. Am I correct?
Well, he can record public officials. That's correct.
Luckily, one of them straight away corrected the other person, ensuring the right to film in public. However, the bigger problem remained as to how will they manage the request.
Okay, so that's not really the way it works. Did you check on the status of your request? Did you put in your request through the portal?
No, ma'am. I prefer to do it in person.
When did you came in person? And
I came in person. At the bottom, you can see. Please don't turn the page. The first page is all you need to see. No, not turn. Sorry, I have an accent. I said turn. Don't turn the page. Don't turn the page, please.
Both of the legal experts were trying their best to dodge the situation and avoid taking the blame. That's when John explained everything once again.
So here's how it works.
Ma'am, I'll tell you what I did there. So I came here. And I've submitted my public record request in person as the Public Information Act says that I can. This is the name of the deputy that received it. It says the date and time. That's AM. 909 and the other 908, or vice versa. So, I did my part. He didn't give me a request number or anything.
They insisted that John file his request online. However, he made it clear that he preferred handling matters like these in person.
So I need to do some research to figure out where your request is at in my department.
Sorry, I would like to go by the law. The law says that whatever you're telling me now, if you can put it in writing. The response should be in writing.
Yes.
I appreciate it.
Okay, so here's how we do public information requests that are received.
Can you do this in writing instead of telling me, please? Please, thank you.
John was being ignored of his legal rights, and he made sure to let the lawyers know about it. He was also adamant about either getting the records or getting a written response. The legal team claimed that this complaint never reached them. If that's the case, then there must be some scrutiny for the person responsible for taking in complaint.
I'm telling you that I need to take this upstairs to figure out.
Can you make a copy, maybe? He has a copy machine.
And it's going to take a little while for me to figure it out and write a response of where it's at.
Okay, I'll wait. Or you can email it to the email.
Okay, so you
down
do
there.
have access to it?
I use a friend's computer to access email, yes.
Some of this is releasable, some of it may not be under the law, okay?
I'm not going to wait here for the records. I'm going to wait here for your written response, which is probably, I need time to do it because I wasn't aware of the request. Whatever you want to say, just in writing.
Both of them went upstairs to investigate the complaint while John waited patiently. Moments later, one of them appeared with a printed document he claimed was also emailed to John. However, upon closer inspection, it was found that a huge error had been made by the department.
And this is a response that was sent back to that email that you've got listed at the bottom of the page. It was sent back on 8/3/2022 at 10:54. And it was a clarification. They needed you to make some clarifications.
It was never sent to me.
Well, I'm just showing you that this is what they provided, and it was showing it was emailed.
Okay, that's the wrong email. After John Doe here, there is a TX. John Doe TX at Gmail. John Doe without the TX at Gmail. So you sent it to the wrong address.
Next up, we have a crazy police officer who did something disturbing without even caring about his job.
Is there a reason why you guys are pulling me over?
Yeah, you were speeding?
I wasn't speeding. What's the emergency, sir?
I'm not rolling the window, sir. Like, we're not going to play these games with you.
I'm not going to play. I just want to know what the emergency is, sir.
Stopping for speeding.
I was not
You have a
speeding.
driver's license on you?
Here, I'll give you my information.
You on probation or parole?
I'm going to give you my information, sir. Hold on.
Officer Shipley seemed to be in a confrontational mood from the get-go, as he threatened Quinn even before he had inspected any documents. Quinn proceeded to hand over his documents to the officer, but the cop wasn't satisfied.
I'm not committing any crime. I just want to know why do you guys have your emergency lights on? What's the emergency?
I just told you, you're being stopped because you were speeding.
Are you recording this, please?
Yes, we are recording.
You are recording?
License and registration, please.
Here's your information, sir. I got you right here.
Hey, sir, I don't like you reaching around.
I'm just showing.
Ask you to step out of the vehicle.
Here, I don't want to step out of the vehicle because I feel like I'm under arrest.
I'm gonna have you step out of the vehicle.
Listen,
either step out of the vehicle, I'm gonna break the glass.
Can you please have your watch commander show up?
Within seconds of making contact, Officer Shipley issued a threat of him breaking the car windows. Quinn was still trying to make some sense of the stop, and what should have ended with a simple speeding ticket was about to escalate into a huge problem.
Step out of the vehicle.
I would like to have your watch commander show up, please, sir. Don't break my window.
I'm asking
please,
right now,
sir, don't break my window. I'm recording this for my own safety. I'm under duress. Please do not break my window. I didn't commit a crime.
Step out of the vehicle.
Sir, I did not commit a crime. I will step out.
Under duress, please. I'll step out under duress.
Please step out.
I will, please. Please do not hurt me. I'm fearful for my life, for my safety. It's scary.
I'm giving you 3 seconds, sir. If you don't step out of the vehicle now, I'm gonna break the glass and you're gonna get pulled out.
Yeah, I'm doing it right now.
Sir, one.
I'm allowed to.
One.
Despite Quinn pleading to the officer that he come out, the corrupt officer took down his window in seconds. However, the worst was yet to come.
Oh. You're hurting me, sir. Please, I'm not resisting. Can you record me? Somebody record! Somebody record this, please! Somebody record this! Somebody record this! Somebody record this!
I got this. Relax.
Somebody record this! Ow! Yeah!
Relax.
I'm hurt. I'm hurt. Relax. You don't have to hurt me. I'm compliant. You're hurting me. I'm not compliant.
Relax.
Put your hands behind your back.
Quinn was taken down brutally by a couple of officers and was punched multiple times, reporting several injuries, including several cuts throughout the body, head injuries, and broken elbows. Quinn was then taken to the hospital to get some treatment for his injuries, and later he was transferred to the police station where he was charged with resisting arrest and assaulting a cop. Later, in December 2022, Quinn decided to file a lawsuit against the city of San Bernardino and Officer Shipley. As of today, the case is still ongoing, and we can only hope that Quinn gets the justice he deserves. Well, this officer certainly broke the law, but even this pales out in front of what this racist cop did next.
Am I being detained, sir?
Yes, sir, and you can get that on camera, too.
And what crime am I suspected of committing?
In October 2015, the father of 3 children, Corey Dickerson, was out jogging at night when he decided to take a break under a streetlight. However, during this time, Officer Kenneth Price arrived at the scene and started to illegally demand his ID.
Well, I live in Talladega.
Get off work, or what are you doing?
Have I done anything wrong, first of all?
Well, no, we have to ask that, because, see, at night we have to check. And, see, we've had a lot of burglaries and thefts and stuff like that going on. We don't know who you are.
Oh, well, I'm nobody.
You see?
I'm nobody.
You see, look at our job, our point. We don't know what you're doing out here. You see?
Right now, I'm just minding my own.
Well, where are you going?
Nowhere in particular.
Nowhere in particular. Looks like you've been running. You've been running?
Yeah.
Where you been running from?
Just around.
Just around?
Yeah. Yeah.
Where are you going to?
Nowhere in particular.
You got some ID on you?
I do, but.
What's your name?
Corey.
The officer had no reasonable, articulable suspicion to stop a black man. In fact, this was a classic case of racial profiling, as he claimed there had been recent burglary threats around the area. Some moments later, the officer moved much closer and exited his car to detain Corey.
Come over here, Corey. You don't look all right.
Huh?
Come over here.
I'd actually rather stand in front of your police car. So I'd rather stand in front of your camera.
Stand right here.
Yeah, I just would like to let you know that I am recording.
Okay, that's
and
fine.
As soon as this video starts recording, it automatically uploads, so.
Hey, look. Hey, my camera does the same thing.
Yeah.
And you can tell them why I stopped you. It is 12:30 in the morning.
All right.
I've had a lot of burglaries and thefts.
Uh-huh.
You can get this on camera.
All right.
Okay? So
It is.
now I'm just asking you for your ID.
Yeah, well.
What is your name?
Am I suspected of being?
What is your name?
Corey. Am I being detained, sir?
That's 10-4, coming up on Jackson now.
Am I being detained, sir?
Yes, sir, and you can get that on camera, too.
And what crime am I suspected of committing?
I didn't need to find out who you are and what you're doing. Do you understand that?
I do, but what crime am I
Get that on recording.
what crime am I suspected of committing, sir?
You're not committing a crime. I just want to know what.
So, am I free to go?
Not yet.
So you guys can detain me for anything whatsoever.
Luckily, Mr. Corey did have some profound sense of the law, and he made sure to ask the right questions to the corrupt cop. The officer also seemingly had a problem with being recorded.
Can I get your name, sir?
My name is Officer Price. You can get that on video.
Price? Price, can you have a badge number? Yeah, everything is going on video.
See,
Everything.
This is what we do all night. Okay? It's not just you that we stop.
Well, it was a cop. That was a police. Matter of fact, that looks like him right there.
Really?
I've seen him pass me twice, and he didn't have any reason to stop me. Right.
Okay, now I've explained to you the reason why I stopped you. If everything comes back, I'll let you go.
And I'm pretty sure he seen me earlier, so I'm pretty sure he could tell you exactly what I was doing when he seen me.
Moments later, another police officer arrived on the scene, and Corey explained that he had previously seen him running around the blocks. The officer also testified to this, but it seemed like the illegal detainment was not ending anytime soon.
Apparently he was running, standing over here. I was concerned about it. He wants to get us all on video. I explained to him why I stopped him. He just goes back for it. No, he won't give me his full name, information. Maybe you can get something from him.
Sir.
I seen you running. You were over by Talladega Downs, wasn't you?
Right.
Yeah, you were on the sidewalk then,
Yeah.
I did see him over on Talladega Downs over there. It was jogging. You were walking at first, and then you started running.
Right.
But that was before he seen me in my patrol car. All he seen was the front of my car. Then
I seen you turn, and I kept on jogging.
He was running. He was walking, then he ran. Then I made my turn. Then he saw the side of my car, but he didn't know I was police, and then started running. But you gotta understand, whenever we're out here this late at night, and something like that goes on, he's going to want to do his investigation. I mean, it's not like it's gonna hurt nothing. I mean, all we're gonna do is just check your ID real quick.
Okay, but see.
Once again, the cops had no valid reason to demand his ID, as he had not broken any laws and was just simply going about his own business. This exemplifies classic police tyranny.
You know that in order to detain me, you gotta have some type of reasonable suspicion that I've committed some type of crime. And you're just invading my, I'm minding my own business out here. I'm literally jogging, I'm exercising.
I'll tell you
I'm trying to
give you some reasonable suspicion on this, okay? The probable cause. It's going to be for the fact that you're running in a neighborhood.
He didn't even see me running. He literally see me just standing right here. I was literally just bent over, this right here, catching my breath. He didn't see me running. He just stopped me, you know? He just pulled over, it just, you know?
Yeah.
So, again, what suspicion have what suspicion do you have of me committing a crime? Like, what have I done?
Let me tell you something.
I just don't like my rights being violated, man. That's it, man. That's it, man. I just
like. If it's a violation of rights, I'll let you know real quick, because I'm not going to be somebody who's going to be doing some stupid stuff and trying to go to jail or get sued or anything like that.
Officer Kenneth started to make his way back to the police cruiser after seeing Mr. Corey's profound sense of the law. The other officer, on the other hand, was still talking to him in hopes of getting his ID.
I don't know you. You know, you ain't never met me, have you?
Nah, you don't look familiar at all, Tim.
Not many people do know me around here. That's why I get out on people. I try to, normally if you see me out with somebody, it's just me getting out and see a crowd on the walk. Just talk to them, get to know who they are, find out what they're doing. Just so whenever I know I'm getting my butt whooped one day, maybe somebody be inclined to help me out a little bit.
All right. I hear that.
If I tell you something, are you going to automatically believe me every time I talk?
I don't believe anybody.
Exactly. There you go. We don't believe nobody. 90% of people we talk to lie to us about everything we talk about.
And that's why I didn't believe him when he said that he had reports of burglars. I've lived over this side of town for 15 years. I haven't heard any burglars.
We just got off of right here. Girl just got her house kicked in twice in 1 month.
What's her name?
I can't remember her name. She's from Pennsylvania.
Pennsylvania.
She moved down here about 2 months ago. Got her door kicked in twice in 1 month.
I don't know her.
Anymore, trust me.
No, I don't know her then. I probably would have heard that if I'd known her.
But that actually did happen. I had to go in there and clear it out for her because she was scared to death to go back inside her house when she got home and her door was wide open. I ain't gonna lie about that. We have had some burglars, not many, between the burglars and the shootings and everything going on here.
I mean, I understand the shooting, but those what I understand was those was a whole bunch of little teenagers. I'm a grown man. I got 3 kids.
Sometime later, Corey himself told the cops that he had painful interactions with the officers in the past, therefore justifying his actions now. However, we have to give him the credit for being resolute and firm despite being pressured by 2 corrupt cops.
Tell me you're a good enough citizen that you obey all the laws and everything.
I ain't say all that.
You got 3 kids, I'm hoping you do.
I mean, I take care of mine. I mean, I ain't just 100%.
Ain't nobody 100%.
Yeah.
Good Christian person.
But
everybody got their flaws.
Right.
And that's all it's boiling down to. He just want to make sure you ain't got no active warrants, make sure there ain't been no burglars. In case there is one that pops up down the street, somebody's door got kicked in, we'll kind of know in the general area where to start looking at.
I'm pretty sure that you guys are going to try to search me or whatever anyway, whether I give you permission or not.
A search.
And I also want to, I don't mean to interrupt you, but I don't trust police just because I got my hair pulled out, I was choked, tased, maced, beaten bloody. You hear me? Beaten bloody by 4 cops while I was in handcuffs.
But was it any of us though?
No, but that don't matter. He kind of looks familiar. He does look familiar, but like I don't trust that. One bad applicant will spoil a whole bunch for me, you know.
I'm gonna tell you this: if we want to search you, we're gonna do a weapon search. We're not gonna dig on you and everything else unless you tell us you want us to do. Go through my pockets, pull them out, do whatever you want to. We can search you for weapons if we choose to.
Despite Mr. Corey making it abundantly clear that he was not going to give his ID, the officers persisted in questioning him, prolonging their illegal detainment.
If he wants to push it far enough, he could even arrest you for failure to identify through law enforcement.
Is that a real law?
It's a real law.
I am going to look that up tonight if I don't go to jail.
Look on your phone, tell me what time it is.
Huh?
What time is it?
It's recording right. It's still recording.
Last I checked, it was what, 12:20?
12:44 now.
12:44. 12:44. You out here in the middle of the intersection. Business right there. There's a bunch of houses around here. You sweating. I saw you run.
I'm saying, you know why I'm sweating though.
He doesn't. He's out here. He's the one who made the initial stop. All right. All he's asking is for a name and date of birth so we can check you out, make sure he ain't got no warrant about that. That's all this boils down to.
And then that's another thing. I might do have warrants on me. I'll be a fool to give you guys my name, then I go to jail and lose my job. I don't have any bail money, no bond money.
Well, do you have warrants for him?
Eventually, Mr. Corey stopped recording, and a few minutes later, he was set free by the cops without being charged with anything. He also didn't provide his ID to any of the cops and was eventually let go. Once this incident went viral, the Talladega Police Department received several complaints from various individuals against these 2 officers. However, the department claimed that the officers' actions were within the frame of law and refused to carry out any actions against them. Well, the officers did eventually leave Mr. Corey without doing any harm, but they did violate his rights by illegally detaining him. Well, what happens when an auditor notices a police officer breaking a law?
Sir, can you put your seatbelt on for me? You understand what I'm saying now? You're in violation of traffic law, sir.
In March 2024, First Amendment auditor Sean Paul Reyes decided to do a First Amendment audit of the Delaware River and Bay Authority in Newcastle, Delaware. As soon as Sean entered the maintenance unit, he got his first resistance from the employees.
What's up, man? Hey, what's up?
Good.
Who are you, man?
Maintenance, what's up?
Maintenance? Yeah, no, I'm good. I don't need help with maintenance.
Alright.
Yeah, I don't need any help with maintenance, thanks.
Help with something?
No, nothing with maintenance, that's for sure.
What are you looking for?
I'm not looking for anybody.
What are you video?
I'm, right now, you.
Yeah, this is private property.
Oh, this is private property?
Oh, it's a DRBA. I'm just asking.
Yeah, no, I'm just taking some pictures and video, that's all.
Okay.
Sean had no issues dealing with them, as he was in a public place and had every right to film there. Moments later, a police officer arrived in his car and also confronted Sean.
So it looks like the DRBA police force. Hey, how are you? I'm doing well, sir. If you want to talk to me, you can get out of your vehicle and talk to me. So it looks like the DRBA police force. Hey, how are you? I'm doing well, sir. If you want to talk to me, you can get out of your vehicle and talk to me.
Sean was already in a public area, but the officer felt compelled to offer his advice. Moments later, the officer arrived back towards Sean, and this time, the auditor reminded him of the laws he was breaking.
Good?
Everything's great. How are you?
Good. Just make sure you stay on the public sidewalks and stuff and everything is done.
Sir, can you put your seatbelt on for me?
You understand what I'm saying now?
You're in violation of traffic law, sir.
Yeah.
Would you mind putting your seatbelt on for me?
You understand what I'm saying?
Do you understand what I'm telling you?
Yeah, I do.
So can you put
stay on the sidewalk.
so can you put your seatbelt on, sir? You're in violation of Delaware state law, sir.
Very good.
Can you put your seatbelt on?
Am I driving right now?
Well, you were driving when you came up here, and you didn't have your seatbelt on. No,
I did, maybe I didn't.
you didn't, sir.
Good.
So you should comply with all laws of the state of Delaware, sir.
Good.
Can I get your name and badge number, please?
Name's right there, you see it?
Oh, it's right there. Is it THEIR or
Yep.
THEAR? Okay,
All right.
right there. And your badge number, officer, right there. Your badge number, officer, right there.
Have a good day.
Do you have a badge number? Yeah, just put your seatbelt on for me, sir, just so you can stay safe out there, all right? Make sure you put your seatbelt on. Again, make sure you stay on the public sidewalk.
The tyrant cop had no response to Sean's remarks and kept dodging the question about wearing a seatbelt. However, Sean wasn't done with the audit as he moved inside the building, and that's when an official in the reception stopped him from taking pictures inside.
Look how proud he is to be a part of the Thin Blue Line gang. Look at it, back to blue until it happens to you. That's for sure. Thin Blue Line gang flags all over this vehicle here. All over. And then he has the nerve to have the We the People decal on here too. He's not part of the people. He has one We the People decal and 5 back to blue and Thin Blue Line gang flag decals, excuse me. I just know the owner of that vehicle is an utter tyrant. So this is the Easy Pass Customer Service Center here. Just finished dealing with those law enforcement officers outside. Wanted to give directives.
Are you with the company here?
Am I with the company?
Yeah.
What company?
Were you taking pictures or something?
Yeah, I'm not with the... What company was it?
DRBA.
The DRBA? No, I'm not with the DRBA. Oh, I'm just taking pictures and video.
Well, I don't think that's permitted.
You don't think it's permitted? Really?
Now that you're not affiliated with anything here.
Oh, well. I have to be a DRBA associate or employee?
Yeah.
Where? How do you know that?
We'll soon find out, but I don't think you're supposed to be taking pictures here. Why are you taking pictures here anyway?
Well, I just told you I'm just taking pictures of myself.
The uninformed receptionist had also contacted the manager, who promptly arrived on the scene. Sean once again tried to tell her about the public photography laws, but it seemed like she wouldn't listen.
Hi, how are you, ma'am? I don't. Who are you, ma'am? Sorry.
My name is Deborah.
Deborah, my name is Sean. Deborah, hi. I don't need any help specifically.
Okay.
Are you supervisor here?
I'm a manager.
You're the manager? Okay. I just was having a conversation with one of the clerks here, and she said that you had to be part of the DRBA agency in order to record in here?
Yes.
Why would that be?
Well, let's ask the police. They're right over here. Okay?
Sure, we can ask the police. That's fine. What would the police have to do with the rules and regulations here?
Maybe they could help you answer your question.
Oh, okay, sure. Yeah, that's fine.
I can't see you. I have a gentleman here who's recording, and so I told him I'd bring him over to talk to you. So just let him go ahead and do whatever he needs to do out here in the atrium area. You've got it confirmed.
Great.
All right, thank you.
Thanks, officer.
Well, technically, you got it confirmed. Fortunately, the officer was well versed in the law and knew the rights of public photography. The expression on the manager's face at that moment was amusing to witness, as she was completely owned by the cop.
Well, there you go. Ma'am, I would just ask that you, just for future reference, if you let the clerks know so that way they can, you know, not escalate the situation next time.
Up next, a cop taking bribes thought he could hide his action. His reaction when confronted? Priceless.
Officer Michael Wagner had arrested defendant Lisette Gonzalez for a DU1. However, during court proceeding, it was revealed that he never administered a breathalyzer test, yet falsely recorded that she tested above the legal limit. When the judge learned of this, he responded in a way that had not been seen in courts before.
I want to be enlightened.
It was a mistake, admittedly, by Michael Wagner.
I know.
He testified to that today.
He caused her to have her driver's license suspended for at least a few months for nothing. So are you going to no process that case, or am I going to get mad at you today?
Perhaps you can get mad at me, Your Honor, but at this point...
Why wouldn't you... Wait a minute. Did you hear the uncontroverted testimony of this officer?
Your Honor.
Then I want you taking him up on perjury.
Your Honor.
Will you take him up for perjury?
He admitted it was a mistake, Your Honor.
No, but he lied. He lied on a sworn
Absolutely
citation.
not, Your Honor, and that is not true.
I'm dismissing. I am dismissing this charge. No, I'm dismissing the charge.
This action visibly angered the judge, and he would not stop here as he went on to grant more favors to the defendant.
This whole case was fishy, and I have no idea how they... You know what?
Their address on file.
You know what?
The state intends to amend
I'm
the
granting.
charge and proceed on
I'm rescinding the sentence. I'm granting the JOA.
You don't agree with the state's decision on
I'm granting the JOA in fairness.
In fairness, because you don't like the state's decision today, Your Honor, on the case?
No, you're not. Now that I consider what Officer Wagner testified to and how many times he basically tripped over himself just to arrest this lady with no real probable cause, you're done. Motion, the JOA is granted.
And you're not going to provide a written order on that?
Nope. You want to appeal me? Appeal me.
Thank you, Your Honor.
The case should have never been made. Never.
Thank you for letting us know that, Your Honor.
The judge not only reversed his decision, but acquitted the defendant on the spot, leaving the arresting officer and his attorney in dismay. Well, sometimes police officers do the unthinkable in courtrooms, costing their cities thousands of dollars. In a September 2012 hearing of an assault case, Judge Doris Bird laid out punishment for an assault like Anthony Waller when a police officer decided to take matters into his own hands.
Investigation for false imprisonment, assault in the third degree, assault as a Class 2 felony, and a misdemeanor charge as well in possession of drug paraphernalia.
I'd like to object first. If I'm under investigation, I thought the investigation came first, and then the rest came. Hold on, man.
Get on your feet. You don't turn on me. Get on your feet.
Waller was only talking to the judge when Deputy Brady Lovingier slammed him to the ground before taking him away. The suspect later claimed that he suffered broken teeth and head wounds. As a result, the deputy was suspended by the sheriff's office and ultimately resigned. On the other hand, Mr. Waller ended up getting $50,000 in damages from a federal jury. This officer lost his job for this. But what happened to this next bully in court will leave you all satisfied.
5 individuals claim that this defendant tased them when they were not consenting to it, when they were not looking.
January 2023, Behar County Deputy Andrew Garcia was arrested for using his taser on cadets in training. Garcia was charged with 2 counts of official oppression, assault with bodily injury, and harassment. He pled guilty to the charges as Judge Boyd proceeded with the case.
You entered a plea to account for tampering with the government record. You entered a plea of guilty. The state waives counts 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, and 7. According to the plea bargaining agreement, punishment is to be assessed at 1 year in the state jail facility. The state recommends community supervision. They're opposing your application for deferred adjudication. Have both parties had a chance to review the PSI report state?
Yes, Judge. Yeah.
Defense?
Yes, Your Honor. In fact, I've gone over to my client and given him a chance to read it at his own pace.
It was Deputy Chauvin.
No. Not in training, because you were not tasing people in training. I know that sometimes, and I don't know if it's still the case, I think it's not the case, they would tase officers in training so they would know this is the voltage of the taser, this is how it feels.
The state attorney explained what Deputy Garcia had actually done. The revelations will surely leave you in shock and dismay.
Yes, Judge. So this defendant took advantage of people who he was supposed to be supervising and training in the Bexar County Jail. He was the CERT deputy in charge of cadets and lockdown units with violent offenders, people with ag assaults, murder charges pending. At least 5 individuals claim that this defendant tased them when they were not consenting to it, when they were not looking, and that he did it in front of inmates, which, jeopardizes the security of the jail and also does not help with the retention issues that the jail is having as well. At least 2 of the victims left after that they were tased because they didn't want to be part of that work environment. Some of them were tased on the arms, legs, back, stomach. Multiple people said they did not want to be tased. He did it anyways. There's evidence that after he tased them and that the victims would ask him, why'd you do that? He would look at them and smile. Some of the people consented to being tased. However, it was under a type of duress. For example, one of the victims went to him asking for clippers so that they could cut the inmate's hair in another unit. And he said, I'll give them to you if you let me tase you.
It's bizarre to hear that a law enforcement officer was being a straight-up bully and was harassing his juniors who were there for training. However, the events keep on getting worse.
In the PSI, I noticed that he said that he had been tased before. There's evidence that was uncovered throughout the investigation that he would, when the victims would say, hey man, why'd you do that to me? Have you ever been tased? He would respond back with, no, and I'm not going to let anyone tase me. So I don't know which part of that is actually true. I just want to make it very clear that when these reports come out and when all this stuff is happening, they don't say Andrew Garcia was tasing people in the jail. They say a Bexar County Sheriff's deputy was tasing people. He's besmirched the badge of the Bexar County Sheriff's Office. This is supposed to be a controlled environment, and he added chaos to an already chaotic environment. By doing this in front of the inmates, it put not only him in jeopardy and the cadets, but also the other inmates. And it is his sole job in the jail to maintain the health and safety of the inmates who are there. When he was confronted about it, he put on a government record that he does not recall this ever happening. However, in the PSI, he says the reason he did it is because it was done to him. The old saying, if all your friends jump off of a bridge, are you gonna do it too? And here it seems like he just went along with it and was tasing all these cadets.
The poor cadet who was multiple times spoke to investigators, or else this unlawful practice might have continued even longer.
The defendant is 6'10", 245 pounds, at least at the time when he was working there. One of the victims is 5'2" and 112 pounds. And he reported that he was held up against the wall physically, and that this defendant would not set him down, that he would put him into an arm bar in front of other inmates and tase him multiple times in front of other inmates. This was not a one-off time, Judge. If it was, I don't think the state would be having such an issue with deferred. It's the fact that we found out that this happened to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 individuals, and the one individual he didn't tase, he would harass. So when he would go to start doing his checks on the inmates, this defendant would point the red dot at him, come up behind him and clap the taser while the cadet was just trying to do his job. Therefore, the state thinks that this defendant should carry a conviction because of the egregiousness and because he has besmirched the badge of the Bexar County Sheriff's Office.
Defense.
It seemed the bully enjoyed harassing and attacking those innocent young cadets. Shortly after, his attorney had the floor, and the corrupt deputy tried his best to play the victim card.
What you're accused of by tasing and harassing these cadets is not a proper work environment or training environment for them?
100%.
Okay. Have you learned from this not to do something like that?
100%, yes.
Okay. Were you ever tased? Yes or no?
Yes, I was.
Okay. And is it part of training that everybody's going to get tased sooner or later? Normally a time when they get tased.
At a time and a place, yes.
Okay. And did you notice anything from the inmates reacting to your alleged misconduct?
I'm saying I do not recall tasing in front of inmates.
Okay. All right. So, and this is your first offense,
yes, sir.
Correct?
Okay.
Excuse me. Norma.
This is a first-time offender. I do understand what I did was, wrong. I would not do it again if I made a mistake. I'm about to get married here in the next couple of weeks. I asked for, if you could on deferred, I would greatly appreciate it. I have done my lesson, Your Honor. And I would definitely ever do anything like this again.
Okay.
Any questions?
Any questions from the state?
Just a few questions. So your attorney asked you, you know that that's not a proper work environment, stuff to do in the work environment, correct? But you understand this is more than just some type of workplace harassment, that was criminal conduct you were doing?
Yes.
Where you were housing people who have allegedly committed crimes?
Correct.
So in fact, you were committing crimes in the jail?
Correct.
No further questions, Judge.
Nothing else, John.
All right.
After the defense and state presented their arguments, Judge Boyd took charge and announced the sentence. But before that, she took this bully to the cleaners.
We are actually going to marriage license to pick up the proper documents, and then whenever I guess they have their scheduling, we'll pick a date, but as soon as possible.
All right. The state is asking for you to have a conviction. If this were counts 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, and 7, I would probably have no question about giving you a conviction. But however, you do need to be punished. And punished is not just permanent surrender of your TCO license. So I'm going to give you a choice. I will give you 4 years deferred adjudication. With that, you're going into custody to the Bexar County Jail for 30 days. That's your punishment. Or I will give you a conviction. Which do you choose?
And the conviction, are you just giving regular probation? Is that what you're saying?
Yes.
Your Honor?
Deputy Garcia was a lying coward. The only reason he didn't want to go to the same jail he worked at was because he couldn't face the cadets he was bullying for fun.
Only one that works with my family. My wife is focused on her degree. And it's, I don't want to be in jail, Your Honor.
Well, the people you tased, they just wanted to, I'm assuming they were there to support their families as well. So why were you tasing people? And I don't want to hear, because how old are you?
24.
24. I don't want to hear this is like college and people are hazing people. I never understood why people who had been hazed decide to haze other people. So why were you tasing people at the jail who are just there? And I know those cadets are young because I've seen some of them. They're 18. Some of them look as though they're 12. So why were you tasing cadets?
Your Honor, doesn't make it right. It's a thing that's going around.
Oh, you're saying there are other cadets there are other people at the name.
Deputy Garcia tried to cover up by claiming it was a long-standing practice. The judge cut him off and went over to humble him for the next few minutes, leaving him speechless.
Who are tasing people at the jail?
Off the top of my head, Your Honor, it's been a while. I don't.
No, I'm thinking, who tased you? Give me a name. I'm sure the state would like to know these names. So who are the names of the people who were tasing you?
Your Honor, I do not remember.
Of course, you always remember the first person who tased you.
The first person who tased me was in proper training.
Oh, what's their name?
That was...
All of the complainants in this case remember you as tasing them. That's why you're here. So who tased you?
Improper training, it was Deputy Chauvin.
No. Not in training, because you were not tasing people in training. I know that sometimes, and I don't know if it's still the case, I think it's not the case, they would tase officers in training so they would know this is the voltage of the taser, this is how it feels. Much like in the military, when they release the gas, so you'll know how to wear your mask properly. No, I'm talking about who tased you improperly, because that's why we're here. You're saying people hazed you, so you're just hazing people. So who are these people who tased you when you were not in training?
Your Honor, I do not remember names.
All right, so who else is tasing people at the jail?
Garcia tried to dodge the question, but didn't realize he was up against a brilliant judge who wouldn't let him off so easily.
Because that's what you're telling people. You're telling me, you're telling the states, you're telling the attorney that there's tasing happening at the jail. I'm sure those cadets don't want to be tased if it's not in training. So who are these other people who are tasing cadets? We want to know. So tell me who they are. Do you need to sit in the box while you think of the names of the people?
Mr. Randall.
The reason why are you not intentionally not remembering names, correct?
No, I cannot remember.
Oh, I mean, if you want to sit in the box and think about the names, because you can't just throw around people are being tased at the jail by other people and then that's it. Who are these people who are tasing people? There's nothing worse. Well, there may be other things that are worse than people who say, well, I heard. But you're not saying I heard.
I heard, yes, ma'am.
You're saying, oh, now you're changing it to I heard?
I haven't seen someone get tased. I've heard of stories of people getting tased, and I just ran with that.
Oh, so he's never seen anybody tased. So now he's not just continuing the hazing that happened to him. He was just tasing people. Your unborn child, is this going to be a girl or a boy?
He's 4 months old. He's a boy, yes, ma'am.
The deputy continued making a joke of himself, left with no answers. The pathetic bully never considered his actions wrong, and the judge kept pressing on his vague excuses.
He's 4 months old. He's a boy, yes, ma'am.
4 months old. So what if he decides to be a cadet at the jail and somebody like you, who's 6'10", however much you weigh, is tasing him?
I would be unhappy with that.
Mm-hmm. How unhappy would you be?
Very unhappy. Very unhappy.
And how would you think the work environment would be for your son when they're constantly worried about some guy who's bigger than them tase them?
As a parent, I would not approve of that work environment, Your Honor.
Mm-hmm. That's what you did. Some people would call it being a bully, but that's what you did.
Yes, ma'am.
So you deserve a conviction, and I'm going to give you a conviction. Is there anything else from either party? In the state jail facility, suspended and probated for 4 years. Proof of employment within 30 days. There's to be no employment as a home health care provider or with minors. Regular reporting. Oh, and if I haven't said it before, I'm finding you guilty. There's to be regular reporting by Zoom or in person. There's to be regular UAs. There's to be the permanent surrender of your TCOL license. And I know sometimes people will give up their TCOL license, but then they go to another state and they're allowed to become officers again. So while you're on this probation, there's to be no employment as a security officer.
In my opinion, the deputy was lucky not to get a jail sentence. His punishment felt like a slap on the wrist, but the judge made sure to humble him one last time.
Court is not waiving any of those hours, and I'm going to require parenting classes. Probation, is there anything else? Is there anything else you need from the court to be successful?
Want the judge give you anything, help you at all? This is your time to ask.
Sir, is there anything else you need from the court to be successful on this probation?
No, no.
All right. I'm showing you what's entitled Trial Court Certification of Defendant's Rights to Appeal. Did you review that? With your attorney, did you understand it and did you sign it? All right, we can go off the record. I understand why you don't want to do your time at the Bexar County Jail. And you know what? I know it has to do with people in the box and security for you at the Bexar County Jail. So that heavy beating of your heart, that's the heavy beating that all of those cadets had whenever you were on shift. And you need to remember that. Do you understand?
Sure.
All right, good luck to you. Yes.
I apologize. You want field visits?
Yes, field visits once a month for 3 months. All right, just have a seat. They'll go over conditions with you. With your attorney, did you understand it and did you sign it? All right, we can go off the record. I understand why you don't want to do your time at the Bexar County Jail. And you know what? I know it has to do with people in the box and security for you at the Bexar County Jail. So that heavy beating of your heart, that's the heavy beating that all of those cadets had whenever you were on shift. And you need to remember that. Do you understand?
Sure.
All right, good luck to you. Yes.
I apologize. You want field visits?
Yes.
Garcia was immediately fired from the Bexar County Sheriff's Office. And although he wasn't arrested, he will never get to be a law enforcement officer again, thanks to Judge Boyd. Well, this isn't the last time a judge destroyed an officer in court, as this case will leave you stunned.
At least give me the satisfaction of knowing that you're out there beating up nigga. LOL. How humiliating and degrading. Be a positive example to Officer Zelenuski.
On January 28, 2015, Inkster police officer William Mendez and his partner John pulled over a black man for a traffic violation. What followed will shock you as Judge Vonda Evans details the incident during the trial.
I'm gonna start out with Mr. Dent. The victim involved in this tragedy is a 58-year-old black man who was driving his Cadillac in Inkster, a suburb of Detroit. On the evening of January 28, 2015, where his life changed forever, he was stopped by the defendant, a then Inkster police officer, and his partner, Officer Zelenuski. Mr. Dent was stopped for a minor traffic offense and ordered out of his vehicle. With his hands extended out of his driver's window, he was grabbed out, thrown to the ground, and struck 16 times in the head by the defendant. In his attempt to arrest him, he was thrown onto a window shield of a patrol car, bleeding profusely from a head injury. The responding police officers arrived as the defendant is wrestling the defendant to the ground. Mr. Dent was struck, kicked, and tased while on the ground by what appeared to be a group of angry, anxious police officers that celebrated after the defendant was beaten and cuffed.
This horrible beating had left Dent's face and shirt drenched in blood, but the officer's reaction to this was even worse.
The video in the car shows the police officers fist bumping as a celebratory act of bravery by the defendant and his cohorts. But the one image that struck out to the court was looking at Mr. Dent in his cell, shaking his head. In disbelief of what had occurred to him. If his conduct was indicative of what he was thinking, I would have thought this. What crime did I commit? Being a black man in a Cadillac, stopped for a minor traffic offense by a group of racist police officers looking at. As police officer John Zelenuski, auxiliary police officer, testified in court too, in his response to a text, was quoted as saying, "At least give me the satisfaction of knowing that you're out there beating up right now. LOL. How humiliating and degrading." that must have been.
After his arrest, the officers kept on humiliating, cleaned his blood off their uniforms with disinfectant. Dent was also charged with resisting arrest and Drunken. The judge was devastated by the events and delivered a powerful, heartfelt lecture.
He was left in a cell for a number of hours before getting medical treatment. But after hearing the defendant and his fellow officers joke about his injuries as they were wiping blood off their uniforms with disinfectant. 2015. Please be quiet in my courtroom. How does this happen? I'm gonna tell you how it happened. Some years ago, 19 to be, well, 25 to be exact, I remember coming into this building with such enthusiasm, so excited. And I remember a lawyer telling me that nobody leaves out of this building like they came in. I didn't understand what that meant. You go to social events, you tell people what you do for a living, and after they say, what kind of cases do you hear? And as a judge, prosecution, defense, does criminal defense, a police officer, after a while they say, we don't want to know anymore. That's the job in the criminal justice system.
Racist Officer William could only sit and listen as the judge spoke. How fitting that he was being humbled by an African-American woman.
These pressures and expectations force officers who have a pure desire to purely serve the community as an occupation to conform to this group mentally or face being ostracized and labeled as an outcast among that group. These methods of indoctrination are passed along to new police recruits in the academy by stressing the importance of obedience to authority through a structure of shame and honor. It teaches them to conform and obey to the prevailing standards of the police culture. Field training, the recruit gets a reality check of what it's like to be out in the city. I was out at a mall yesterday. I asked a woman a question. I said, you don't have to answer. How much do you get paid an hour? She said, $15 with benefits. Well, guess what? That's more than what Inkster gets. They don't get benefits. The equipment, the police cars are old. We went out to the scene. Early in the morning, there were people who were using drugs. They just kind of came out. And the only thing I could imagine was the only thing that is separating these people from drugs are the police officers that appeared in my court.
Judge Vonda not only blasted the officer in question, but also questioned the overall system that produces such cops. On the other hand, all charges against Dent were dropped, and he settled with the city for $1.4 million.
According to Law Enforcement Today, a publication, police officers had the highest rate of alcoholism, divorce, drug abuse, suicide. Their life expectancy is 10 years less than the average American. Police are human beings too. They feel despair and they have ups and downs. Their job is made worse because they see on a daily basis, more than any other occupation, the worst behavior that people can inflict on one another. They go to work every day with the knowledge that some of the people that they are sworn to protect and serve want to kill them. But how do we as a community expect superior services from police officers who are making security guard salaries to receiving little compensation and struggling just to pay health care? We would rather save a few dollars to balance a budget than pay millions of dollars to reverse a tragedy that we could have prevented. I know that Mr. Dent would give back every dime of his $1 million settlement to go back to where he was in his life before January 28th. I wonder what would one half of that $1.4 million settlement awarded to Mr. Dent have done for the Inkster Police Department. Training officers that wanted to serve and not hiring officers that didn't belong. It's my belief that when we begin to value and properly compensate and train those that want to serve, then and only then will we as a community receive the type of services that we expect and demand from the defenders of our community, the police. It's amazing how poor cities like Flint can find millions of dollars to attempt to reverse a situation that $100 a day could and would have prevented.
Moving on, we have this insane cop who was taken to the cleaners by this vigilant judge. Officer Eric DeValconaire and his partner responded to a call about a person chasing his girlfriend in his pickup truck. Eventually, the suspect decided to head back home, and as he was entering his driveway, Officer Eric asked him to step outside. When the suspect didn't comply and remained in the truck, DeValconaire twice on the spot. He was charged with, and after a lengthy trial, the judge finally delivered a verdict.
Parties have a right to expect that no matter what I hear, I will only consider factors that are appropriate and that I will disregard those that are inappropriate. And that is what I've done here, and as a result, I've concluded as follows. There are a number of facts in this case that are both aggravating and mitigating, sometimes all at the same time. First and foremost is this undeniable and uncontested fact. Cameron Lamb is dead. And Eric DeValconaire, that's undisputed. Cameron Lamb was by all accounts a helpful and loving son, brother, father, and friend. People who have contacted me and who I have heard from today have described him as funny, caring, giving. Miss Gray called him a protector, a jokester, and my favorite of all the ones that I read, not a saint, but our angel.
Judge Dale Youngs understood the entire case and lectured the corrupt cop before announcing his verdict.
Cameron Lamb's death leaves an irreparable and unfillable void in the lives of his family and his friends, and also in our community. Also, as I'm weighing all these facts, it can't be overlooked that the events of December 3rd of 2019 were initially set into motion by Cameron Lamb and his decision to chase his girlfriend through city streets at dangerously high speeds, putting motorists and other members of the public at risk. However, those events tragically concluded with the actions of Troy Schwam and the defendant pulling up to defendant's house, Sergeant Schwam pulling into the driveway, immediately getting out with his weapon drawn, rapidly moving into the backyard, carport, garage area of the house, and defendant doing the same. Both without taking a breath, without pausing for the briefest of moments to consider where they were going, what they would find when they got back there, whether they were acting lawfully in doing so, and whether there might be some other safer option, without so much as a "Hey, Troy, wait." At any point, Sergeant Schwam and the defendant could have done this.
The victim, Cameron Lamb, was not even reaching for a gun when the cop shot him. The judge narrated the events as the tyrant listened in agony.
A fact that is made even more aggravating as the court considers an appropriate sentence, in this case by the fact that the one person who ultimately did take a breath that morning was Cameron Lamb. He did this when at some point, while he was chasing his girlfriend, he decided to discontinue the chase and to go home. The video from the helicopter shows this decision, shows how it played out. Cameron Lamb is not racing through the streets of his neighborhood at this point. He's not driving through yards to get away from anyone. He does not abandon the truck and let it roll into someone's yard while he flees on foot. Rather, he simply pulls into the driveway of his home, pulls around back, puts the vehicle into reverse, and slowly begins backing it down the driveway under the carport and into his garage. Then Sergeant Schwam and Eric DeValconaire arrive, and as the court has found, an encounter that was over and a situation that had de-escalated was again escalated by what I have found, rightly or wrongly, was their unlawful entry into the backyard carport area and confrontation of Cameron Lamb. This is an aggravating factor.
This sad incident stems from the fact that these corrupt cops overestimate their authority. The tyrants wandered inside his house without any warrant and ended up poor guy inside his own home.
The circumstances of the offenses described during the trial, however, also provide the court with a mitigating factor. I found, as I've considered the evidence in the case, that the defendant, Eric DeValconaire, testified credibly at trial that he was rushing to provide cover for Sergeant Chauvin, who had rushed into the backyard with his weapon drawn, prompting the defendant to do the same from the other side of the house. Although not in the court's view, again, rightly or wrongly, negating his obligation to act with reasonable care, as the court found he has failed to do, his natural reaction to protect his partner is a factor for me to also consider. And let's also be clear, and it is hard to accept this distinction. I know that. Murder and involuntary manslaughter arising from criminal negligence are two different things. They are different legal concepts. They are different things.
The judge was rightly tearing apart the corrupt cop, but just as he neared his conviction, he started to gather some sympathy for the racist officer.
Eric DeValconaire is not Derek Chauvin, who murdered George Floyd. Eric DeValconaire is not one of the 3 men in Georgia convicted of running down and murdering Ahmaud Arbery. This is a mitigating factor. Defendant has no prior criminal history. His ORAS scores him as a low risk in all categories. Defendant's history as a police officer, husband and father, friend and colleague is also a mitigating factor that I have taken into account, as his father asked me to do, which I was already going to do, and that is to consider the totality of the circumstances and to consider the totality of the defendant's life. The facts and the circumstances in the history of defendant's career and his life that have been presented to this court have demonstrated he has not hesitated to immediately take action when he believed the circumstances surrounding him warranted it. And this trait has generally served him and others well. It also failed him.
It was disheartening to see the judge side with the suspect, especially since this case appeared to be a clear-cut murder, much like the ones mentioned earlier.
Cameron Lamb is dead. Eric DeValconaire killed him. And the court has found that that happened because the defendant acted without considering or being aware of the substantial and unjustifiable risks associated with his conduct, and that his actions were a gross deviation from the standard of care that a reasonable person would exercise in the situation. Having concluded, as I have, having considered all those factors, I ask counsel if there's any legal reason or cause having been shown why sentence and judgment of the court should not now be pronounced.
None from the state.
No, sir.
Eric DeValconaire on count 1, the Class E felony of involuntary manslaughter in the 2nd degree, I sentence you to a term of incarceration in the Missouri Division of Adult Institutions of 3 years. On the unclassified felony of armed criminal action, I sentence you to a term of incarceration of 6 years in the Missouri Department of Corrections.
This officer learned his lesson, but this next cop was caught planting on people and owned in the courtroom.
It appears to be an illegal narcotic. Do you know anything about that?
I do not.
What is that? I'm just trying to figure out how that stuff got in your car. You gonna go to jail today for possession of method? Oh man, dude, I'm serious, dude. Anything, what you want me to do, man?
And I knew my truck was clean. I knew it was.
Anything the vehicle need to be concerned about? Bombs, hand grenades, rocket launchers? Okay.
It is yogurt, sir.
I know. Okay.
It's yogurt.
How about this, though?
That is not mine. No, sir.
Okay.
Now, the white small plastic baggie that was in that spoon that the deputy just showed you on this video, had you ever seen that before?
No, sir.
Was that in your car?
No, sir.
The court proceeding mostly consisted of evidence as all the 12 drivers testified against Zachary. Finally, the jury reached a verdict and it was announced.
In the
the State of Florida versus Zachary Tyler Wester, case number 19-CF-431. We, the jury, find as follows as to the counts charged in the information. Count 1, guilty of racketeering as charged. Count 2, not guilty. Count 3, not guilty. Count 4, not guilty. Count 5, not guilty. Count 41, guilty of possession of controlled substance related to February 15, 2018, as charged. Count 42, not guilty. Count 43, not guilty. Count 44, guilty of possession of a controlled substance related to April 17, 2018, as charged. 65, guilty of false imprisonment related to Stephen Van, as charged. Count 66, not guilty. Count 67, not guilty.
All right, Mr. Clerk, if you'll go ahead and poll our jury. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to thank you for your time and consideration of this case. I also wish to advise you of some very special privileges enjoyed by jurors. No juror can ever be required to talk about the discussions that occurred in your jury room.
The verdict was read as all the 67 charges were read individually, and Zachary was found guilty of 19 of them, including racketeering, official misconduct, and possession of controlled substances. In a final hearing, the judge announced his sentence.
Mr. Wester, this court now sentences you as follows in this case. As to count 1, racketeering, which is a first-degree felony, you are sentenced to serve 5 years in the Florida Department of Corrections. As to count 7, official misconduct, as a third-degree felony, you are sentenced to serve 18 months in the Florida Department of Corrections. That will be served concurrent with count 1. As to count 65, false imprisonment, that's a third-degree felony, you are sentenced to serve 1 year and 1 day in the Florida Department of Corrections, consecutive to count 64. Counts 7, 9, 10, 31, 33, 34, 41, 44, 48, 64, and 65 are to be served consecutive to each other for a total sentence in this case of 12 years, 6 months, and 8 days in the Florida Department of Corrections. This sentence of 12 years, 6 months, and 8 days in the Florida Department of Corrections is to run concurrent with a 5-year Department of Corrections sentence in count 1. Therefore, it is the intention of the court that you are sentenced to serve a total of 12 years, 6 months, and 8 days in the Florida Department of Corrections. I'm also going to award the defendant 58 days jail credit as to count 1 and count 7.
The corrupt deputy was rightfully sentenced to 12.5 years in prison. Well, this officer was definitely corrupt, but the actions of this next cop were so hideous, he was given the ultimate sentence.
The court commits you to the custody of the Commissioner of Corrections for a period of 270 months. That's 270.
The tragic death of George Floyd at the hands of Officer Derek Chauvin on May 25, 2020, sparked a worldwide movement calling for justice and police reform. Chauvin was charged and eventually convicted of second-degree unintentional murder, third-degree murder, and second-degree manslaughter.
I wanted to thank everybody for being here and for providing the input you did. Not just the people who were in the courtroom here, but also those who provided written statements, both from the Floyd family and the defendant's family. I've read all the impact statements that were submitted earlier and listened carefully to all the input here today. And it is truly appreciated that you took the time to stay with this case and to provide me with input. I have reviewed the pre-sentence investigation and carefully considered all the facts of the case and the law, but my comments are actually going to be very brief. Most of it's going to be in writing. I have a 22-page memorandum that is going to be attached to the sentencing order. And why am I doing it in writing? To emphasize the fact that determining the appropriate sentence in any case, and in this case, is a legal analysis. It's applying the rule of law to the facts of an individual and specific case. And that is why, as opposed to trying to being profound here on the record, I prefer that you read the legal analysis that explains how I determined the sentence in this case.
Derek stood still and refused to show any emotions that would display guilt and remorse. The police officer knew he was about to face a long sentence.
What the case is, or what the sentence is not based on, is emotion or sympathy. But at the same time, I want to acknowledge the deep and tremendous pain that all the families are feeling, especially the Floyd family. You have our sympathies. And I acknowledge and hear the pain that you are feeling. I acknowledge the pain not only of those in this courtroom, but the Floyd family who are outside this courtroom and other members of the community. It has been painful throughout Hennepin County, throughout the state of Minnesota, and even the country. But most importantly, we need to recognize the pain of the Floyd family. I'm not going to attempt to be profound or clever, because it's not the appropriate time. I'm not basing my sentence also on public opinion. I'm not basing it on any attempt to send any messages. A trial court judge, the job of a trial court judge is to apply the law to specific facts and to deal with individual cases.
The judge made it abundantly clear that the sentence would not be based on public uproar and emotions, but would be decided strictly according to the law. That's when he announced the sentence.
Mr. Chauvin, as to count 1, based on the verdict of the jury finding you guilty of unintentional second-degree murder while committing a felony under Minnesota Statute 609.19 subdivision 2 paren 1, it is the judgment of the court that you now stand convicted of that offense. Pursuant to Minnesota Statute section 609.04, counts 2 and 3 will remain unadjudicated as they are lesser offenses of count 1. As sentence for count 1, the court commits you to the custody of the Commissioner of Corrections for a period of 270 months. That's 270. That is a 10-year addition to the presumptive sentence of 150 months. This is based on your abuse of a position of trust and authority, and also the particular cruelty shown to George Floyd. You are granted credit for 199 days already served. Pay the mandatory surcharge of $78 to be paid from prison wages. You're prohibited from possessing firearms, ammunition, or explosives for the remainder of your life. Provide a DNA sample as required by law. Register as a predatory offender as required by law. And then you will receive a copy of the order and also the attached memorandum explaining the court's analysis.
If this needs to be said, we just ask that it be executed forthwith.
Defendant is remanded to the custody of the sheriff to be transported back to the DOC or whichever custody is currently holding him. Anything for the defense? All right, thank you. We are adjourned.
Well, that brings us to the end of this video. Today, we saw police officers getting owned in courtrooms after committing terrible acts while on duty.
Finally, we have an officer involved in illegal activities for years. The moment he gets fired is the ultimate example of justice served.
On December 4th, 2023, in the state of Virginia, Humphrey would be working his shift at his day job when police would be dispatched over a report of the missing package. However, upon their arrival, instead of conducting any investigation, they assumed the following.
Left, but they came back without it.
Correct. You don't know if you just took it and threw it in a dumpster, maybe you shipped it somewhere else. We really have no idea.
So it's just a BCM lower?
Just a BCM lower.
And what's his description? It's a taller black male.
6'2" black male, probably 230 pounds.
Okay. We'll talk for a second and we'll be in there.
So how do the owners want to address this with him first? Is that, is there anything we do to slow roll this, or?
Okay. So what we would do, I want to make sure he's online with everything, but just chill right here. We're gonna talk for a second.
Okay.
And then,
I don't want to put the owners in a pickle, right?
Yeah. So just give us a second. What's your game plan, buddy? So
so we took off with it and we returned without it. But the owners
have
wanted
video.
Okay, they have video of it. Okay.
They don't know if they want to press charges yet, but what kind of charge is this?
This would be a grand larceny. So it's felony, so they want to press charges.
Also, it's a felony because it's a firearm?
Yeah, firearm, correct. And then I read on the case comments, people can still carry in it.
Yeah, they can still carry in here.
His co-worker accused him based off security footage that showed Humphrey leaving with the package, but the reality was that he had simply dropped it off to the shipping vehicle that then lost it.
No. It's down the hallway.
Yes. Reyes.
What's that? What's going on?
Don't try to you think it's
What?
We'll explain everything in a second.
Oh, y'all really serious?
You got your idea on me?
Yeah. Arsonist, this is crazy, bro. Yeah, I think I said that shit. That's the one thing that makes this one.
You haven't said anything about anything, dude.
Something that makes sense, brother.
Let's get on. Where's your car, bud?
It's all the way in the back.
Get your car. Your block ramp? Appendix? You wouldn't even give your answer, you gotta have one. Anything else on the video?
No, not the knife. Is that up?
That's gonna keep loading right now.
These cops displayed such an arrogant arrest first ask questions never tactic, but as it turns out, this unlawful arrest would backfire in their face.
I'm gonna walk back in there and say hi to my boy real quick, and I'll meet you guys there. Just get him in there. If you're sitting for a little bit, that's good. Okay? It's not gonna be too long, actually. Just anyway.
So like 45 minutes from now.
When you usually interview, do you just keep cuffed in the mic the whole time? Can we usually interview?
No. Ask him if he wants some water. Alright? Ask him if he wants some chips.
You cuff him to the phone or you just let him?
No, so the detectives will guide you through it. Okay?
One of the cops making the decisions also seemed to have a pre-established connection with a co-worker who accused Humphrey, adding to further bias on their part. However, within the next 10 minutes, they would discover that the package Humphrey was accused of stealing was there all along.
Whew. Saved by the freaking mailman.
Hell yeah, appreciate you, sir.
Thank you for being cool with me and cooperative with me.
Because I'm my man, I knew, like, ain't it has to get worked out.
Yeah.
That kind of thing.
And like I said, if that happened and you were already in custody, then like you would have just been unarrested. I'm gonna go in there, talk with them. All right.
Energy drink, C4 on the
It's a
right
C4.
door.
What kind? What?
I forget what I bought it. Is it the red or the artisanal? Yeah, it's in the 7-11 door.
Okay.
Get this other stuff that you replenish it.
So we got the box.
Yeah.
Where's it at?
Taylor, can you give us a break? I'm sorry? Can you punch out here for a second? Yeah.
As they were forced to let Humphrey go, the officers tried to save face as best as they could, showing an incredible lack of discipline. However, we now learn the truth about the package.
Yeah. So 10 minutes after you guys left, this showed up.
Can we open it and confirm it's in there? I know, but like.
Nope. As soon as Cole brought it in, he opened it.
Oh, you did?
He did. It's in there.
I'm really happy that this happened. Yes.
Yeah, me too.
I don't know what y'all's policy on like THC is here and stuff. He had a weed pen on him.
Okay.
I was initially charging him with that, but they didn't grant it for me. Wonderful. Correct serial, everything. Okay. Can you show me to his office? He wants me to get his car keys.
All his stuff's right there. His car keys are right there.
He has a C4 energy drink in the fridge.
Okay.
Yeah, I ran out. Yo, James, I got your stuff right here. Can you pop your trunk real quick?
Yeah, I was gonna ask, could you get a laptop bag from out of my office so I can throw it in there too?
Inside, it's in the office?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. I'm gonna just throw this in here for now. Okay.
That's fine.
Everything's in there, even the pen. Okay.
His co-worker seemed so dejected that Humphrey wouldn't be getting arrested, almost like he wanted to get rid of him, as the officer as well failed to charge him for anything else.
Okay. So you have all your things. You want me to get a laptop bag for you?
Yeah.
So what I was on the phone doing was I went ahead and let my supervisor know what was going on.
I can go grab the bag. What is it?
It's a laptop bag?
Laptop, gray bag.
Gray.
LBT look like a
Is it
handgun bag.
yours?
Yeah. It should be on a black rack and maybe on the top shelf.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I filled him in on everything, right?
Oh, your supervisor.
My supervisor.
Okay.
Yeah. Just because, dude, I had to take you all around the goddamn city, and now we're back here. So I went ahead and did that for you, so he's aware of what's going on. I'm gonna put my name on this business card, and I'm also gonna put his name. If you got any questions, please feel free to call him, man.
Will do.
Like,
I don't have any questions. I understand, like, y'all did y'all job, y'all saw what y'all saw, proper calls, all right.
Unfortunately for Humphrey, although his co-worker did fail to get him arrested or charged with anything, he would still use this whole fiasco as an excuse to screw him over one last time. Despite being cleared of the crime, Humphrey said he was fired 2 days after the incident. Despite the swift discovery of the item and my innocence, the repercussions have been severe, Humphrey wrote on his GoFundMe page, which has drawn in over $52,000 in donations. I have lost my job, my reputation has been tarnished, and I am left to pick up the pieces and rebuild my life from scratch, he said. Humphrey was but one of the many victims of these corrupt and biased officers who exposed their troubling lack of awareness of the law with every move, and our next case would be of no exception to this.
Don't consent to no searches or none of that.
Stop.
I can speak freely.
Okay, you need to back up.
I am back.
On September 4th, 2024, a video uploaded by the channel Gambino Green Thumb revealed footage of a Los Angeles County patrolwoman pulling over a vehicle for expired tags. Despite the petty violation, her treatment of the passengers was beyond despicable.
What they pulling you over for? Expired tags. And she need to pat you down for expired tags? That's a little excessive. At least I think so. I thought expired tag, you could just get a ticket. What's the need to pat down? And you should always record, big dog. And as a passenger, you don't got an ID either. Passenger, you're not even necessarily a part of the stop. You just happen to be in the car, so you don't got an ID or nothing, whatever it is she's trying to do. Now, if she asks you to step out, you got to. I don't know, especially just for expired tags. Now, like I said, you don't have to ID as a passenger. You don't have to. So, I'm not in your way. Don't consent to no searches or none of that.
Stop.
I can speak freely.
Okay, you need to back up.
I am back. Just like I said, just don't consent to no searches or none of that. Searches.
The man recording tried to bring awareness to these passengers, as the deputy unnecessarily profiled them, and on top of that, showed the man some nasty attitude.
Like I said, you're a passenger, so you don't gotta ID yourself, and just don't consent to no searches. Honestly, she's not even supposed to detain you as a passenger. So make sure when it's over, you get her name and badge number and you file a formal complaint, because she's not even supposed to do none of this to you as a passenger. You're supposed to tell her you ain't consenting to no searches. You still supposed to say it just so you can have it on record. Still say it. Still tell her. That's so that you did. It don't matter. Let her violate the law. You did your part. That's all that matters, because you could take her to court. She digging in your pockets. You're not under arrest. But he not under arrest. You only supposed to do a frisk, a pat down on the outside. Yeah, you only supposed to pat down the outside of his pockets. So that's unlawful. That's a full search. Now that's a full search what you just did. Well, I know how to do it better than you, obviously.
The Fourth Amendment of the U.S. Constitution clearly protects the citizen's right against unlawful search, and yet here is your common American cop blatantly disregarding their freedom.
See, passenger, that's why you always film. You don't never let them pull you over. Driver as well. Don't never get pulled over without taping. She literally said she pulled you over for expired tags, but y'all both in the back seat being detained. That don't even make sense. She know I'm right. Ask her.
I was asking if you had to see out here.
Well, I'm not conducting the stop. You gotta ask her what's going on.
Is this your car?
Is it? No, she got the people whose car it is in there.
Okay.
I'm just a concerned citizen.
Okay.
Not just to film, just to make sure she's doing her job right. She already overstepped. She done searched the passenger without consent. So that's already a violation right there. And it's supposed to be just for.
Do me a favor.
It's supposed to be. Well, I'm not too close. That's why you here. I'm not too close.
Not liking the fact that she was being questioned on her illegal acts, the patrolwoman would call another officer to come and try and get rid of the man.
If I was too close, I'll be violating. I'm keeping the distance. I've been distant since I got here. If all she stopped him for was just tags, I don't see what she need to pull the passenger out for. He didn't do anything wrong. He's just a passenger in the car. So why would he be searched and ID'd? What's your name and badge number?
Carrillo.
Huh?
Carrillo,
badge number what?
061.
All right. But yeah, if it's just tags, couldn't she just cited him and let him go?
She's taking the car now.
This look like it's backfired enough, so I understand that. But what about detaining the passenger and searching him and all that? He not the driver?
By its very definition, when there's a traffic stop conducted, the passenger is...
Nah.
So he's in the car and he gives her that information.
No, he was outside the car when that happened. See, if you was here, you would have knew.
If he's in the car and he gives her that
But that happened outside the car over here.
Okay.
See, that's what I'm saying. If you was here, you would have knew. Right now, you're just assuming because you're not sure. You just got here. I'm telling you as a witness to it.
Can go both ways, sir.
I'm telling you as a witness to it. You just assuming I was here. It's a big difference. I'm a primary source. You would be more like a secondary, right?
Speaking.
All right, so if we're talking about that, then I was here, you wasn't. So
I would say primary would be him. You'd probably be like secondary.
But I'm a primary source because I was there of it happened. I'm contemporary why it's happened. I'm there with it. I exist why it's happened. I'm here, so I could be primary. I don't know if you know how sources work, but you know, if you did, you would have been more familiar that I would be a primary source because I'm a first-hand source.
I guess
that's how it works. You could not agree, but that's how it works. SH1890.
Glad you can read that.
It's not reading.
Nice and clear.
That's not reading. That's just numbers. That's not reading. Letters and numbers. That ain't reading. It don't say anything.
The officer grew increasingly uncomfortable with the man's repeated but rightful questions, as his job was to only stand there and intimidate, not use his brain.
I see you want to be a hard ass. I mean, you got a very condescending type of, attitude right now. I don't see why, just because I'm here recording. Is that irritating you or something?
Not at all.
Then why you acting the way you acting?
I'm recording you just like you're recording me.
But I'm not giving you attitude. You being very condescending.
How is that making condescending?
your reactions, your whole body language, everything you've been doing since you got here.
You may call it condescending. I may just be calling it like I'm not going to get sucked into whatever you got going on.
I don't got nothing going on. I told you what I'm doing. I'm just watching. Concerned citizen. Everybody should pull up and watch when police is here, right?
Concerned of a citizen within your own neighborhood.
Obviously.
With the community members
Obviously I am.
outside of the police.
Obviously I am. That's what I do. I hold government officials accountable. That's my main concern.
Hold community members accountable. That's
Your concern is to do that. That's your job. That ain't my job. As a citizen, my job is to hold the government accountable. That's your job to police the city.
So you're a Republican, as you say.
I never said I was either or. I'm just a citizen, standing up for people's rights. Now, if that's what you call a Republican, hey, that's your opinion.
I'm just wondering.
I'm just giving you some side on my side. I'm just giving you a little information. I never said I was either or. I'm just a citizen.
The officer hopelessly tried to steer the conversation away from the incident at hand, trying to make it political and charge up the man, but he would not fall for these tactics.
I got complaints on city councilmen, clerks, all type of shit. Whoever do wrong. It don't matter your position. Listen, your position don't matter. As long as it's a government position and you're not doing your job, you get held accountable. That's how I go.
Family 111057.
So you typically do the same thing to passengers then, because it sounds like you're in agreement with what she did. You pull a passenger out and detain him when he had nothing to do with the stop. He's just a passenger. Because that's the same thing if he was in an Uber ride. You pull over the Uber driver, the passenger is not subject to your arrest or search or any of that. He can step out and let you search the car, but you couldn't search him just because he's a passenger. So what's the difference with a personal driver? He's a passenger.
Wasn't here.
That's why I asked you, would you have handled it the same way?
I don't know. I can't tell you.
I mean, you could tell me. You don't want to tell me.
No, I can't tell you because every situation is different.
Okay, when you pull over, okay, look, if you pull over a car,
being made that every traffic stop.
That's why I'm asking you. I don't want to assume. That's why I'm asking you. I don't want to assume.
That's simply not true.
That's why I'm not assuming. I'm asking you, would you handle it that way?
I don't know. It depends on who the passengers are.
You don't know who the passenger are. That's the whole thing. They're anonymous, and they're supposed to remain that way because they haven't committed any infractions. They haven't broken any law or broken any crime. That's not an infraction.
Do you know for sure he's not on
That's still not an infraction.
Do you know for sure?
That's still. Do you know? You just got here.
I'm asking.
Hey, passenger. Passenger. Hey, passenger. You should also request a supervisor. Because what she did was wrong. Y'all should request a supervisor to come to the scene now so y'all can file y'all complaint now. Request a supervisor. They got to call them out. You don't want to wait till later. What's that? Huh? I'm at work. Once I leave here, I got to go. I wasn't even supposed to be here. I just stayed to make sure y'all was good.
The outcome of this incident is unknown, but it should be noted that it is commendable the man stood up for what no one else around was willing to do when a clear violation of a citizen's right occurred in broad daylight. However, our next case is a little more hopeful, as instead of an ordinary citizen, this time an officer of the law actually has the integrity to uphold it without bias. On December 3rd, 2023, an Albuquerque, New Mexico police officer was patrolling in his car when he noticed a black pickup truck speeding and swerving. However, when pulling the driver over, he would be met with a man of a not-so-different profession to him.
I had a beer. Just one? All night? Yes, sir. You lying to me? No, sir. Cool. Hands directly to the side. Go take a step forward for me, please. Feet together, hands directly to the side. See my finger? Yes? Follow my finger with your eyes and do not move your head. Do you understand? Yes, sir. Go upward now. Follow my finger upward, please. Yes, sir. Any injury to your legs or feet that are going to prevent you from walking, balancing, turning?
The man who was pulled over and observed to have a reeking odor of alcohol was a cop off duty by the name of Edgar Madrid, and our officer did not believe a single word he said.
On this imaginary line, you'll look downward at your feet. You will count each step out loud. You will touch heel to toe on each step. And you'll keep your hands directly at your side at all times. Do you have any questions? No questions at all? So look, I'm going to demonstrate this test to you. It's going to look like this, sir. 1, 2, 3. See, I did that. I took 3 steps. You will take 9 steps. Do you understand? Yes, sir. On your 9th step, your front foot will stay planted on the ground. With your back foot, which is your opposite foot, you will take a series of small steps, just like so, to turn yourself in the opposite direction. You see how I did so? Do you have any questions on the turning process? Now you're going to be facing the front of a patrol unit, and I'll proceed back 9 steps like so. 1, 2, 3. See, I did that. Once again, I took 3 steps. How many steps will you take?
9, sir.
Again, sir.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9.
Okay. Face me. Put your feet together just like mine. Mr. Madrid, I'm going to have you remain in that position there. You will not start the test until I tell you to do so. Do you understand?
After conducting his first field test on Madrid, the officer would become even more convinced of his intoxication and would call another cop to his area.
You will lift that foot approximately 6 inches from the ground. You'll keep your foot parallel to the ground. You'll keep your hands directly at your side, both legs straight. You'll look down at your raised foot and you will count in upper manner by 1,000. Similar as 1,001, 1,002, 1,003, 1,004, and continue counting upward by 1,000s until I tell you to stop. Do you have any questions?
No.
So look, I'm going to demonstrate this test to you. I'm going to pick my right foot for my demonstration, but you can pick your right or your left. You're going to lift that foot approximately 6 inches from the ground like I'm doing so, and keep your foot parallel. Do not point it up. This is parallel. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
Hands directly to the side, both legs straight. Looking down at your raised foot, you will count in upper manner by 1,000. Similar as 1,001, 1,002, 1,003. Do you have any questions? No questions at all? Go and begin, sir.
2001, 2002, 2003, 2004, 2005, 2006, 2007, 2008, 2009, 2010, 2011, 2012, 2013, 2014, 2015, 2016, 2017, 2019, 2020, 2021, 2022, 2023, 2027.
Go and stop. Mr. Madrid, it's been more than one drink, wasn't it?
Yes, sir.
How much have you really had to drink?
Had 2 Coors Light and Dirty Bourbon, sir.
2? Yeah. You shouldn't be driving. You know that.
Yes, sir.
Right?
Yes, sir.
And this is gonna hurt. It really is.
The officer would conduct a sobriety test on Madrid, who would just nod along to his instructions like he wasn't fully listening at all.
I can see your actions refuse to be tested this time. Mr. Madrid, open your mouth for me, please. Stick your tongue out. Lift it up to the sky. Do you have anything in your mouth? Do you eat, drink, smoke? Anything in between your teeth and your gums? 142. Go walk to the rear of my vehicle, please. Have a seat.
Despite how much it displeased him, seeing Madrid miserably fail the test left him no choice but to arrest a fellow officer, who should have known better than to go joyriding while intoxicated.
Like the sample is red, verbally refused, mouth is free and clear, extremity deprivation period 0, 1, 42 hours, 46 and send a case number, please. You know who he is?
What's last name?
Madrid, D1, Skater.
This case? What's been on?
He's been on for, I think he's a lateral. Yeah. So 90, 65, he admitted to drinking 2. Edgar? How's it going? I need you guys to go for a ride. Everybody. It's getting towed. Yeah. Do you have his phone? So the way it works here in Albuquerque is he's going to have to go in front of a judge, and the judge is going to decide when he's going to get released. No. Do you have his phone or no? I just want to make sure he has that phone so you can call people.
And you wouldn't allow one of us to
No, he's gonna get towed. So call for a ride, let somebody know.
These corrupt cops find out the hard way that justice always catches up with you, no matter who you are. And if you enjoyed seeing these moments of instant karma, don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications so that you never miss another shocking story. Thank you for watching, and check out this next video right here.